This is a hardened, blued, bent thin steel flange, 10 inches long, screwed to a hexagonal steel shaft that is 13.75 inches long. It was found in a home workshop. The blued piece is slightly flexible. What is it? This is a blade guard from a piece of woodworking machinery, such as a table saw, jointer, or shaper. The hexagonal shaft allows the guard to be mounted to the machine and adjusted up and down or side to side. The blued bent thin steel flange is the guard itself, which is positioned over the rotating blade or cutter head. Its purpose is to act as a physical barrier, keeping the operator's hands safely away from the dangerous cutting area while still allowing the piece of wood to be fed through the machine. It is a critical safety component. Found on HY 11 in northern Ontario near a quarry, this is a 1-inch rusted heavy iron ball with 2 flat and pitted poles. A 3-year-old found it. A coffee capsule is used for scale. What is it? This looks like a rock milling ball. Given its context, found near a quarry, this is a very strong possibility. A ball mill is a large, rotating drum used to grind and pulverize mineral ores or rock. The drum is filled with these hard, heavy steel or iron balls. As the drum turns, the balls tumble and crush the material into a fine powder. The poles are likely just remnants of the casting process from when the ball was made, known as sprues or gates, that were not fully ground off. This small wooden flip-out brush and mirror is about 7 centimeters long. The mirror is tiny and convex. What is this cleaning tool for? This is a cleaner for a record player, turntable stylus. The stylus, or needle, is the tiny diamond or sapphire tip that tracks the grooves of a vinyl record. It can accumulate dust and debris from the record, which affects sound quality. The small, soft brush on this tool is used to gently clean this dust off the stylus. The tiny, convex mirror is used to help the user see the very small stylus tip, making it easier to inspect it for dirt or damage and to guide the brush accurately for cleaning. This copper thing is stamped FNAM and weighs 280 grams. What is this heavy, symbolic token? FNAM stands for Free and Accepted Masons, one of the main branches of Freemasonry. This object is likely a commemorative token, a lodge penny, or a paperweight given out by a local Masonic lodge. Masonic lodges often issue such tokens to members to commemorate an anniversary, an event, or simply as a symbol of membership. The commenter notes that the penny in the picture appears to be a steel one, which were minted in 1943 to save copper for the war effort, which helps to date the context in which this token might have been created or displayed. This small, 2-sided metal tool features a shovel and a sifter. It's moderately heavy for its size, approximately 1.5 inches long, and was used in a salt jar for dispensing salt. What is it? Despite its use in a salt jar, this is more likely a sugar scoop, specifically for use with a sugar bowl that holds sugar cubes or granulated sugar. The small shovel end would be for scooping up the sugar, and the sifter or fork-like end might be used as a small sifter for powdered sugar or for picking up individual sugar cubes. These small, often ornate, silver or plated metal scoops were a common part of a formal tea or coffee service set. This round, ceramic object with slats is gray and 4 to 5 inches long. What is this vintage medical device? This is apparently a ceramic version of an old surgical splint. The commenter provides a trail of evidence, linking it to a metal version with a patent number from 1931, granted to Charles Ettinger. The patent describes a splint for immobilizing fingers or other small limbs. The slatted, trough-like design would cradle the injured digit, and bandages would be wrapped around it. The ceramic material would have been rigid and easy to sterilize. Zimmer, a biomedical company that collaborated with Ettinger, is still in operation today, but this is a very early example of their type of product. This small, definitely golf-related plastic thing is about the size of a palm. It was left behind at a golf course. The finder found the company online, but it wasn't a product they seemed to sell. What is it? This is a skin for a Precision Pro NX10 golf rangefinder. The 10 rangefinder is a popular model that is known for its customizable design. The outer colored shell or skin of the rangefinder can be easily swapped out by the user. This allows golfers to personalize the look of their rangefinder with different colors or patterns. This found object is one of those interchangeable decorative skins that has been removed from the main body of the rangefinder and was likely dropped or lost on the golf course. Found in a very old Italian house, this soft metal tool is probably aluminum and about 12 centimeter long. An AirPod case is shown for size reference. What is this bar accessory? This is a champagne bottle foil cutter. Before popping the cork on a bottle of champagne or sparkling wine, you must first remove the foil capsule that covers the cork and cage. This tool, with its small, sharp cutting wheels or blades on the inside, is placed on top of the bottle. By squeezing and rotating it, it neatly cuts the foil just below the lip of the bottle, allowing for a clean removal of the top portion of the foil capsule. It's a specialized tool for a touch of elegance in wine service. This small metal cylinder that unscrews was found on the front passenger car seat. It is a few centimeters long. What is this piece of hardware? This is a glass standoff. A standoff is a piece of mounting hardware used to hold a panel, such as a sheet of glass, a sign, or an architectural panel, away from the wall or surface it is mounted on, creating a space behind it. It typically consists of a barrel that is mounted to the wall and a cap that screws into the barrel, clamping the glass panel in between. They are commonly used for mounting glass signage, shower doors, or decorative glass panels. How it ended up in a car seat is a mystery. This small metal bar is chained to a metal box at a gas station near a pump. The bar has a slit at one end. What is it for? The box might have held a fire extinguisher behind a glass panel at one point. In an emergency, you need to be able to access the fire extinguisher quickly. The small metal bar is a dedicated tool for breaking that glass panel. The user would strike the glass with the heavy end of the bar, shattering it, to get to the extinguisher inside. The chain keeps the tool permanently attached to the cabinet so it doesn't get lost or stolen. It's a common feature on older break glass in case of fire-style safety cabinets. Two of these black plastic funnel-like objects were found together. There is mechanical wear around the inside edge of the large center hole, which appears to be metal. There are also two little holes on the sides. They are about 5 to 6 inches high. What are they? Given the context and that there are two of them, the best guess is that they are part of an automotive headlight or tail light assembly. The funnel-like shape could be the reflector housing or the shroud that sits around the light bulb, directing the light. The large center hole is where the bulb would be inserted, and the wear could be from heat or vibration. The two smaller holes might be for mounting screws or alignment pins. They are likely internal components from a pair of vehicle lights that were replaced or discarded. This is a brass metal cylinder with two sides that open. No threading, they just slide on and off. One side is shallow with a white residue. The other is a little deeper and empty. A chain is attached. It was found at a thrift store. What is it? This seems to be a box for carrying the components for chewing betel nut, a common practice in many parts of Asia. It is likely a combination box for holding tobacco paste and lime powder. Lime powder, calcium hydroxide, is a key ingredient used with betel nut. The two separate compartments, with one containing a white residue, likely the lime powder, are a strong clue. This small, portable, and often ornate container would allow a user to carry their prepared ingredients with them. Found at a plumber's house in a rural locale, this is described as a 10-foot diameter fiberglass tank, with each identical half being about 30 inches tall. It has no inlet or drain. What is it? It's not a single tank, but rather two stock tanks or troughs that have been stacked on top of each other for storage. Stock tanks are large, durable, open-topped containers, often made of fiberglass or galvanized steel, that are used on farms and ranches to provide drinking water for livestock like cattle and horses. A plumber in a rural area might have them for various projects, or they might simply have been left over from when the property had animals. Their large size and simple, robust construction are characteristic. Found in an antique shop, this object is about the size of a fist and looks like bone or horn. What is it made of, and what is its story? The commenter thinks this may be made of plaster of Paris, not bone or horn. The small bubble marks visible on the bottom are a telltale sign of a cast object, where small air bubbles were trapped in the plaster as it was poured into a mold and hardened. It is likely an amateur or student sculpture, or perhaps a decorative cast piece, designed to look like a more exotic material like bone. Its story is that of a simple, handmade piece of art, rather than a genuine biological artifact. This came in a pair, but it looks like a Lycra headband with fasteners on 2 straps. The finder is completely lost, even wondering if it's some kind of exercise underpants. What is it? This is an anti-snoring device, specifically a chin strap or jaw strap. It is designed to be worn at night. The strap fits around the head and under the chin, providing gentle upward support to the lower jaw. The purpose is to keep the mouth closed during sleep. For some people, snoring is caused by breathing through the mouth, which can cause the soft tissues at the back of the throat to vibrate. By keeping the mouth closed, the strap encourages nasal breathing, which can reduce or eliminate this type of snoring. This small white glass tube with a circular metal top punched a hole in a tire. Initially, it looked like a huge screw, but once it was pulled out, the top broke off from the tube part. What is it? This is the inner chamber of a vape cartridge. Many vape cartridges used for cannabis oil or nicotine e-liquid have a central glass tube or chamber that contains the heating coil and wick. The metal top would be part of the mouthpiece or the connection to the atomizer. These small glass tubes can be surprisingly strong and, if dropped on the road, can land in such a way that their edge is sharp enough to puncture a tire, as happened in a previous similar post. It is a common piece of discarded vaping waste. Found while metal detecting in Texas, this heavy metal cylinder is about the size of a soda can. It has a threaded bolt on the bottom and a bent pipe fitting on top. The bottom is stamped with IN and a circled D. What is this industrial component? This is an old 3 to 8 inch single-direction filter dryer for a refrigeration or air conditioning system. This is a critical component in any AC or refrigeration loop. Its job is twofold. The filter part removes any solid contaminants like dirt or metal shavings from the refrigerant, while the dryer part contains a desiccant material that absorbs any moisture. Moisture is extremely damaging to a refrigeration system, so this filter dryer ensures the refrigerant stays clean and dry. The IN marking and arrow indicate the required direction of refrigerant flow. The circled D is likely the manufacturer's logo, possibly Danfoss. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit like and subscribe. Your support genuinely helps YouTube's algorithm find more curious explorers like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Stay curious. These 2 identical plastic pieces are about 5 by 7 inches. The finder thinks they are part of a printer or some other electronic device. What are they? These belong to a Wacom Cintiq 24HD. A Wacom Cintiq is a professional-grade interactive pen display, a combination of a high-resolution monitor and a graphics tablet that allows artists and designers to draw directly on the screen. The 24HD model came with a large, robust, and highly adjustable stand. These plastic pieces are likely covers or components of that complex stand, which allowed the large display to be positioned at various angles for comfortable drawing. This green insert with a ridge on it is hollow inside. It was found in the back of a dish cabinet and seems to fit on a bottle. What is it for? This is a pourer thingy for an oil bottle. Many cooking oils, especially olive oil, come in bottles with large openings that can make it difficult to pour a small, controlled amount. This plastic insert is a pour spout that is pushed into the neck of the bottle. It creates a smaller, more manageable spout that allows for drizzling oil more precisely onto salads or into pans. The ridge would help it seat securely in the bottle's neck. The odd green color might just be a design choice by the manufacturer. Found inside an old barn, where the previous owners used to reload ammo, this brass object is 5 inches long. It has a lever on the side that opens and closes an inside flap. What is this antique communication device? This is identified as the mouthpiece for an old speaking tube, the kind often used on ships or in large, grand houses in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Speaking tubes were a non-electric form of intercom. You would speak into a mouthpiece like this one, and your voice would travel through a network of pipes to a listener in another room or on another deck of the ship. The lever-operated flap valve was crucial. It was kept closed when not in use to prevent drafts, insects, and, importantly, sound from traveling through the tube when not intended, ensuring privacy. A bunch of 3-1-ish inch heavy rectangular metal things seem to have fallen in a garage overnight. Some are slotted. There is also some frass-like material. What are they? The slotted ones look like weights used on equipment straps for neutral buoyancy when diving. Scuba divers often use small, trim weights like these, which can be threaded onto the straps of their buoyancy control device, BCD, or harness. This allows for a more precise distribution of weight to achieve perfect trim and balance in the water. The non-slotted ones could be standard dive weights. The frass is likely just unrelated dust or debris from the garage. They probably fell from a shelf where diving gear was stored. A small, tan, glove-tip-shaped object with a small bit of wire in it was found inside a cat's stomach via X-ray. The material is plastic-ish. What is this ingested item? The commenter is pretty sure that this is the pointed end or body form from one of those cheap, fuzzy mouse cat toys. These toys often have a hard plastic core or frame shaped like a mouse's body, which is then covered with fur or fabric. The bit of wire would be where the tail or ears were attached. Over time, cats can chew the fur off these toys and eventually break off and swallow the small plastic parts. The shape and color of the plastic are very common among these types of ubiquitous cat toys. Scattered all over a lovely restaurant in Sorrento, these seem to be full of oil or something similar. The finder and their partner guess they might be some sort of bug repellent. What are they? These are decorative oil lamps. Each one consists of a glass container to hold the lamp oil and a wick in the middle. The wick slowly absorbs the oil from the container. When the top of the wick is lit, it burns the oil, providing a small, flickering flame. These lamps are used to provide ambient lighting and to create a cozy, romantic atmosphere in the restaurant. The commenter notes that some wicks were missing or cut off and that the restaurant just hadn't lit them yet during the visit. Some lamp oils do contain citronella for bug repellent, but these are primarily for ambiance. This small, black button-like object was found at Rocky Mountain National Park. The finder was going to toss it, but then got curious when they saw a serial number on it. What is it? This looks like a lens or turret cap from a Bushnell optic. Bushnell is a popular brand of sporting optics. This cap would be used to cover either the objective or eyepiece lens of a pair of binoculars or a spotting scope, or more likely, it's a cap for one of the adjustment turrets, the knobs for windage and elevation, on a rifle scope. These small plastic caps protect the lenses from scratches and dirt and keep the turret adjustments from being accidentally moved. It was likely lost by a hiker, birdwatcher, or hunter in the park. This green glass dish has a bust of an unknown military figure. Google Lens does not identify him, and there is no writing. It was found at an estate sale in Atlanta. Who is the figure? You may fire when ready, Gridley. That is Admiral George Dewey, a hero of the Spanish-American War. In the wake of his victory at the Battle of Manila Bay in 1898, Admiral Dewey became a massive national celebrity in the United States. A huge amount of commemorative merchandise was produced in his honor, including this glass dish made by the Greentown Glass Company in Indiana. This specific dish was churned out in various colors, including amber, blue, clear, and milk glass. It's a classic piece of American historical commemorative glassware from the turn of the 20th century. This small green pouch with beads in it is above a doorway in an Airbnb. It's maybe 2 or 3 inches and feels like it has small beads inside. The finder thought it might be an air freshener, but it has no scent. Could it be for bugs or something Wiccan? This could be a charcoal odor absorber. These small pouches, often made of a breathable mesh or fabric like this one, are filled with activated charcoal beads or granules. Activated charcoal is extremely porous and is very effective at absorbing and trapping odor-causing molecules from the air, thereby neutralizing smells rather than masking them with a fragrance. They don't have a scent of their own, but they work passively to absorb any ambient odors. They are often placed in closets, cars, refrigerators, or small rooms to keep the air fresh. Found in a box of antiques, this has electrical wires inside and a button that pushes down like it's to turn something on and off. What is this old electrical switch for? This is a servant's buzzer, or a servant call button. The commenter notes their 1929 Tudor home had one. In large, affluent homes of that era, these buttons would be installed in rooms like the dining room, parlor, or bedroom. When a member of the family needed assistance, they would press the button, often discreetly with their foot if it was under a dining table. This would complete an electrical circuit, ringing a bell or activating an annunciator panel in the servants' quarters, summoning a maid or butler to the room where the button was pressed. 2 mysterious cut rocks with carvings were placed on a fountain wall in Turkey. Both are 100 centimeter wide, missing pieces, and painted white. The fountain itself is made of rocks, later painted white. What were these carved stones originally? These carved stones are likely fragments of some Roman-era relief sculpture or, quite possibly, a gravestone that was repurposed as a building material for the fountain. In many parts of the former Roman Empire, like Turkey, it is not uncommon to find ancient carved stones from ruined buildings or cemeteries that were later reused by subsequent builders as a convenient source of quarried stone for new constructions. The intricate carvings would be from their original life as a decorative architectural element, part of a sarcophagus or a funerary monument that have been cut and incorporated into this much later fountain wall. Found at the beach of the Caspian Sea, this shimmery glass ball was called Heart of the Sea. It is not hollow and has a small flat base. The finder thinks it might just be a decorative piece. What is it? This might be a boating ball. Boating balls, also known as Chinese exercise balls, are a type of stress relief and hand exercise tool. They typically come in pairs. The user holds both balls in the palm of one hand and rotates them, causing them to move around each other. This is believed to stimulate acupressure points and improve finger dexterity and wrist strength. While many have chimes inside, solid ones made of glass, stone, or metal are also common. The flat base might be for displaying it when not in use. It's possible just one of a pair was found. Found in a garden, this weird-looking metal thing seems to be made from iron. It has a large top part that must have been some sort of blade, and the back looks like it's been regularly hit with a hammer. The gap between the blade and the hook on the bottom is large enough for a hand. What is it? This looks like an old hoof pick. A hoof pick is an essential tool for horse care. It consists of a sturdy handle and a metal pick, which is used to clean out dirt, mud, stones, and other debris from the underside of a horse's hoof. The blade part might be a wider scraper, and the hook on the bottom would be the pick itself. Its heavy iron construction would make it very durable, and the dent on the back might be from it being used to tap on things, though hitting it regularly with a hammer is less typical for standard use. This palladium jacket has a metal ring at the bottom of the back on the outward-facing side. What is its purpose? This is a locker loop, but in an unconventional location. A locker loop is a small loop of fabric, or, in this case, a metal ring, that allows a jacket to be hung on a hook without a hanger. They are traditionally found on the inside of the jacket, just below the collar. This one's placement at the bottom is unusual, but the commenter suggests you could zip the jacket up and hang it upside down from this loop. It's a functional detail, allowing the jacket to be hung in a locker or on a peg where a full-sized hanger might not fit. This looks like an AirTag, but has a weird texture and a button on it. What is it? This is a finder tag, an AirTag alternative. While Apple's AirTag is the most well-known Bluetooth tracker, many other companies make similar devices that work with either Apple's Find My network or their own proprietary apps. These alternatives, like this finder tag, often have slightly different features, such as a different texture, a built-in hole for a keyring, which the AirTag lacks, or a physical button. The button might be used for initial setup or to make your phone ring in reverse, a common feature on many tracker tags. This small, wound-up metal band compresses like a spring and is hollow through the middle. It was found on a sidewalk in SE, Michigan. What is this common hardware component? This is a return spring, commonly used in various hand tools like sheet metal cutters, wire crimpers, wire strippers, or heavy-duty snips. It is designed to be placed between the two handles of the tool. When the user squeezes the handles together to make a cut or a crimp, the spring is compressed. When the user releases their grip, the spring pushes the handles back open automatically. This makes repetitive work much faster and less fatiguing, as the user doesn't have to manually pull the handles apart after each action. It likely fell out of a broken or disassembled hand tool. A free table came with this rectangular black hard object attached to its side. It can't be removed by hand and doesn't light up or make noise. What is this mysterious add-on? The company a priori makes video game controller and headphone mounts, and this is very likely the base of one that was left on the table. The commenter notes that the bottom edge looks like it was broken off. This would be the adhesive base that was stuck to the side of the table. The actual holder part, the hook for the headphones or the cradle for the controller, has snapped off, leaving only the mounting plate behind. To remove it, the commenter, a furniture maker, suggests trying to cut the adhesive by sliding some strong, unflavored dental floss behind it. These steel punches, all less than 6 inches long, have zigzag pattern tips. They were found in an old toolbox with other antique tools. They look like punches meant to cut curled or jagged edges, but their formal name and specific purpose are unknown. What are they? These tools are called pinking irons. Before the invention of pinking shears, the scissors with a zigzag edge, these punches were used by seamstresses, tailors, and upholsterers to create a decorative, zigzag edge on fabric. A piece of fabric would be laid on a soft surface like a lead block, and the pinking iron would be placed on the edge of the fabric and struck with a mallet. This would cut the distinctive zigzag pattern, which not only looked decorative, but also helped to prevent the edge of the woven fabric from unraveling or fraying. They are a beautiful example of a vintage sewing and textile tool. This round, tiny metal flask was inherited in a wooden cigar box with photos from 1950s Germany. It's about 6 centimeters tall. The 2-part cap doesn't close the bottle fully, as the top part is open with a metal cross inside. A small stamp might indicate it's silver. What is it? This is identified as an antique perfume bottle. The intricate 2-part cap is a clue to its original design. The commenter correctly points out that the lid originally would have had a cork bung or stopper inside it. This cork would have sealed the bottle's opening, making it leak-proof. The ornate, open metal part of the cap with the cross is purely decorative and would have fit over the cork. Over time, the cork has deteriorated and been lost, leaving the metal cap non-functional as a seal. These small, elegant perfume bottles were common personal accessories. A guest at a B&B in the Dolomites left this in the trash. It's some sort of synthetic roll-up hiking gear meant to clip around a large object. It's not a back protector, as it's not stiff. Pulled as tight as it goes, it's way too loose to fit a person. What is it for? This is a foot hammock, a clever accessory for travelers, especially on long flights or bus rides. It is designed to be looped over the tray table arms of the seat in front of you. You then rest your feet in the hammock sling. This allows you to elevate your feet and change their position during a long journey, which can help to reduce swelling, relieve pressure on your lower back, and improve overall comfort. Its lightweight roll-up design makes it very portable, a perfect item for a hiker or traveler in the Dolomites to have in their carry-on. Hidden at the back of a kitchen drawer, these 2 hard plastic objects have the same conical shape. One has elongated holes, and a single lid screws onto both of them. It's not certain if they are food-related. What are they? These could be inserts for an iced tea pitcher. This would be a system for brewing and chilling iced tea. The conical insert with the elongated holes would be an infuser. You would fill it with loose tea leaves or fruit slices and place it inside the pitcher with water to brew or infuse flavor. The second, solid conical insert would be for ice. You would fill it with water, freeze it, and then place the solid ice core into the pitcher. This would keep the iced tea cold without diluting it as the ice melts. The single screw-on lid would fit both inserts. This is a pair of black rubber things, received as a freebie from Temu. They have a small hole at the end, are about the size of a palm, and have a strong rubber smell. What are they? These are likely replacement feet for a ladder. The legs of an extension ladder or a step ladder are capped with these thick, non-slip rubber feet. Their purpose is to provide a stable grip on the ground, preventing the ladder from slipping, and also to protect floor surfaces from being scratched by the metal ladder legs. They are a common replacement part, as the original feet can wear down or get lost over time. The hole might be where they are secured to the ladder leg. Amazingly found in a rain gutter above a porch, this solid metal, non-bendable, lightweight object is about 2 inches long. What is this piece of window hardware? This is a bracket that goes with a sash window spiral balance kit. A spiral balance is a type of window balance mechanism used in single or double-hung windows to make the sash easier to lift and to hold it in place. It consists of a spiral rod inside a tube. This bracket would be one of the small hardware pieces used to mount the end of the spiral balance tube to either the window sash or the window jamb frame. It likely came loose during a window repair or replacement and ended up in the gutter. This is a transparent plastic tube about 5 centimeters long with a metal rod inside. A kind of blue fiberglass protrudes from one end, embedded in white plastic. A piece of white plastic also protrudes from the other end. What is this high-tech component? This might be a splice for a fiber optic cable. When 2 fiber optic cables need to be joined, a technician performs a splice to connect the 2 glass fibers with minimal signal loss. This is often done by fusion splicing. The finished delicate splice is then protected by a heat shrink sleeve, which often has a metal rod inside for strength, just like this one. The blue fiberglass and white plastic would be the protective coatings and jacketing of the 2 fiber optic cables that have been joined together inside this protective sleeve. Found in the attic of a new home in Italy, you can crank this device, and then a tension mechanism causes it to slowly rotate in the other direction. What is this clockwork cooking mechanism? This is called a roasting jack or a clockwork spit. Before electric motors, this ingenious mechanical device was used for rotisserie cooking in front of an open fire. The device would be wound up by hand, the crank it part. The tension in a coiled spring, or a system of falling weights, would then slowly and steadily turn a hook at the bottom. A piece of meat, hung from this hook on a string, would rotate in front of the fire, ensuring it cooked evenly on all sides. It's a fascinating piece of historical culinary technology. On an abandoned property in SoCal, there are over 100 tall poles, 15 to 30 feet high, with strings and small flags strung across them. There is no infrastructure for events or farming. What is the purpose of this extensive installation? Story poles. These are a tool used in the construction and development planning process. Before a new building is constructed, these poles are erected on the site to show the height, bulk, and location of the proposed structure. The strings and flags outline the key features, like roof lines, walls, and floor levels. This allows neighbors, city planners, and the public to visualize the actual impact the new construction will have on views, sunlight, and the general character of the neighborhood. They are often a required part of the public review process for new developments. Found in a garage, this is a 4-inch long, transparent blue and chrome thingamajig. It's decently heavy and has a small switch on it. It looks like something could attach at the end. What is it? This is an aftermarket shift knob for a car. The main body would screw onto the gear shift lever. Many custom shift knobs, especially from the import and tuner car scenes of the 90s and 2000s, were made with these transparent, colored plastic and chrome designs. The small switch on it would likely be to activate an internal LED light, making the shift knob glow blue. They were a popular and easy way for car enthusiasts to customize the interior of their vehicle. Found in a house built in 1937, this is a 2-inch figurine, possibly bakelite, that looks like a cat. It has a small cavity with a door that opens, though a spring that held it closed is now broken. What is the purpose of this figurine with a hidden compartment? This is made from black horn, not bakelite, and it's a snuff box or a small trinket box. These small novelty containers, often carved into the shape of animals like cats or birds, were popular for carrying small personal items. The hinged compartment would be for holding snuff, a form of powdered tobacco that was inhaled, a small pill, or another tiny trinket. Horn was a common material for these boxes, as it could be heated and molded or carved into intricate shapes. It is a charming and personal antique accessory. This black hook is on the side of a kitchen island addition. It was there when the finder moved in. A bottom wire shelf swings in and out. What is it for? This is a bracket used to hold a basket on the front of a bicycle. The hooks on the basket would hang from the top part of this bracket, which would be mounted on the bicycle's handlebars. The lower part of the bracket, possibly the swinging shelf, would provide additional support. While its placement on a kitchen island is unusual, it was likely repurposed by a previous owner as a convenient hook for hanging kitchen towels, utensils, or a small bag. This pen-sized brass metal tool has a sphere on one end and a retractable ruler-like part inside. It's from Brazil, circa mid-1980s to 2003. What is this measuring tool? This is a pressure gauge for tires. It's a simple pen-style mechanical gauge. The user would press the open end onto the tire's valve stem. The pressure from the tire would push out the calibrated, ruler-like rod inside the body of the gauge. The numbers on this rod indicate the tire pressure in PSI or another unit. After taking a reading, the user would press the small release valve, possibly the sphere on one end, to reset the gauge to 0. They are a classic and reliable tool for checking tire pressure. Found in a creek in upstate West Virginia, this decorative brass handle is roughly 6 x 3 inches and has several screw holes. What is it from? This is a decorative arm from a 1920s-era brass pan light fixture. A pan chandelier is a style of ceiling light fixture that has a central pan or dish from which several arms extend outwards, each holding a light bulb. This found object would be one of those ornate cast brass arms. The screw holes would be where it was attached to the central pan of the fixture and where the light socket and lampshade were attached at the other end. It's a piece from a classic antique lighting fixture. Found in a toolbox, these are cylindrical copper-pointy things of multiple sizes. They have a flat top and a pointy bottom with a circle around it. What are these precision woodworking tools? These are dowel centering points. They are used in woodworking to accurately transfer the location of dowel holes from one board to another when making a doweled joint. You drill the dowel holes in your first piece of wood. You then place these centering points into the drilled holes. The main body of the point fits in the hole, and a tiny, sharp point is left sticking out. You then press the second piece of wood against the first. The sharp points make a small indent in the second board, perfectly marking where you need to drill the corresponding holes. This red plastic thing was found in the glove box of a new Subaru Forester. Could it be some kind of tool? Yes, this is very likely an emergency window breaking tool. These small, often brightly colored safety devices are designed to be kept in a car's glove box or center console. They typically have two functions: a hardened steel point for shattering a side window in an emergency if you are trapped in the car after an accident, and a small shielded razor blade for cutting through a jammed seatbelt. Some car manufacturers, including Subaru, have been known to include these as a standard safety feature in their new vehicles. This 1-inch, hard plastic, lightweight, white and blue object was found in a gravel driveway at a vacation home in Cape Cod. Pictured are the front and back. What is it? That's the logo of the Bray Burn Country Club, a private golf club located near Boston, Massachusetts. This makes the object a golf chit, or a ball marker from that specific club. Golfers use small, flat objects called ball markers to mark the position of their golf ball on the putting green before they lift it to clean it or to get it out of another player's line. Many country clubs and golf courses produce their own branded ball markers, like this one for their members and guests. Found in a garden, this is a white rectangular tool, about 2 inches long, with an old UK mobile network logo, 121, on it. It has a metal point on one end and looks like it opens, but it's stuck. What is it? The commenter thinks this is just a pen. Specifically, it's likely a type of novelty or promotional mini pen that was popular in the 1990s when the 121 network was active. The metal point would have a tiny roller ball at the very tip. It would have originally had a cap that flipped around on a small wire bail, but this cap is likely missing. These were inexpensive, compact pens, often given away as promotional items. Over time, the ink has dried up, and the parts may have seized, making it hard to open or use. This is a decorated iron ball with lots of swirly patterns. It has a smooth bit on one end, a diameter of 2.5 cm, and weighs 68.5 gri. What is it? The commenter has the exact same one. It was sold to them in a lot of ancient Nepali or Indian coins and was described as a cannonball coin. While not a traditional government-issued coin, these are a form of token money or weights from that region. The commenter was told that the different sizes of these decorated iron balls corresponded to different values. It's a fascinating and somewhat obscure form of historical currency or a trade weight, made to look like a miniature decorative cannonball. Gifted from a thrift store, this is a palm-sized, rotating metal object. The inner ring rotates slowly if the outer ring is spun quickly, like a top. It's surprisingly heavy for its size. What is this classic toy? This is a toy gyroscope. A gyroscope is a spinning wheel or disc in which the axis of rotation is free to assume any orientation by itself. When rotating, the orientation of this axis is unaffected by tilting or rotation of the mounting according to the conservation of angular momentum. This is the classic physics toy that seems to defy gravity. You would typically spin the inner rotor up to a high speed using a string, and then you could balance the entire gyroscope on a string or the tip of your finger. This weird tool has 2 metal wires coming from a plastic base and is very lightweight. What is this for? This is a keycap puller, an essential tool for anyone with a mechanical keyboard. Mechanical keyboards often have removable keycaps, allowing the user to clean the keyboard underneath, replace a broken keycap, or install a custom set of keycaps to personalize their keyboard. To remove a keycap without damaging it or the switch underneath, you place this tool over the keycap, press down so the 2 wire loops snap underneath the keycap's corners, and then pull straight up. This thrifted Madewell top has fasteners on the inside of the sleeves. What are they for? These fasteners are to keep your bra strap in place. They are a thoughtful detail, sometimes included in higher quality women's clothing, especially on tops with wide necklines or thin shoulder straps. The small fabric loop, which has a snap on it, is wrapped around your bra strap and then snapped shut. This secures the bra strap to the shoulder of the garment, preventing it from slipping off your shoulder and becoming visible. It's a simple solution for a common annoyance. This metal bar is shelf-shaped with grooves on the ends. The finder thought it was part of a BBQ or a snowblower, but it seems too small for a mattress. What is it? The commenter has this exact same bar and confirms its purpose. It is a mattress retainer bar for an adjustable bed. An adjustable bed is a bed frame that can be articulated to raise the head and or feet. This bar plugs into the base of the bed frame at the foot end. Its purpose is to keep the mattress from sliding down and off the base when the head of the bed is raised. The grooves on the ends are where it slots into the bed frame. This hard, yellow plastic object is 16 centimeter long and 4 centimeter tall. It was found in a drawer. What is this appliance accessory? This is a Kenwood hand blender storage stand, designed specifically for the Kenwood HB615 model or similar. A hand blender, also known as an immersion or stick blender, is a handheld kitchen appliance. This stand would be a resting base or holder where you can place the hand blender when it's not in use, keeping it upright and the blending head off the countertop. It provides a neat and stable storage solution for the appliance and often has a spot for cord management. Found inside an old boat, these are rigid, rectangular, foldable devices with felt pads backed with canvas. They come in different sizes, each with 3 foldable panels. What are they for? These are likely table protector pads. They are designed to go under a tablecloth on a nice wooden dining table, especially on a boat or in an RV, where tables can be expensive and prone to damage from movement. The hard inner core protects the table from heat, spills, and impact, while the soft felt underside prevents scratches on the wood finish. The foldable, multi-panel design makes them easy to store away when the table is not in use for dining. This plastic pokey thing is stuck into the ceiling of a motel room bathroom. It's under an inch long and too high to reach. What is it? The 2 most likely possibilities are grimly related to mischief or misuse. It could be the plastic tip from a blowgun dart. Recreational blowguns often use small plastic-finned darts that can easily get stuck in a ceiling. Alternatively, and more concerningly, it could be the protective cap or the tip itself from an insulin syringe or a similar hypodermic needle. These are sometimes found improperly discarded in motel rooms by individuals who use them for either medical or illicit purposes. This metal box, labeled Easy Way, with a cut tube coming out of it, was found behind a panel in the basement ceiling of a 1957 home. The tube goes up into a closet upstairs. What is this? This is likely the fan or motor portion of an Easy Way home cleaning system, which was an early central vacuum system. In a central vacuum system, a main power and collection unit is located in the basement or garage. A network of pipes or tubes runs through the walls of the house to inlet ports in various rooms. You would plug a long, flexible hose into these inlets to vacuum. This box would have contained the powerful motor and fan that created the suction for the entire system. The cut tube indicates the system has been decommissioned. Found on the beach in Sayulita, Mexico, this is lightweight, floats, and feels wooden. What is this tool, likely related to animals? This looks a lot like a rasp, used for hoof trimming. A rasp is a coarse file or a tool with a surface of sharp, rough projections. Farriers and horse owners use rasps to file and shape horse hooves after they have been trimmed with a hoof knife. While many have metal rasp surfaces, some older or different styles might have other abrasive textures, and the handle is often made of wood. Finding one on a beach is unusual, but horses are common in many rural and coastal areas for work or recreation. Found in a kitchen drawer, this firm black rubber object is about the size of a large coin and has the brand Joy on it. What is this small kitchen gadget? This is a holder for stainless steel drinking straws. Reusable straws have become very popular, but cleaning them can be a bit of a challenge. This small rubber or silicone gadget, made by the kitchenware brand Joy, is designed to hold several reusable straws together in a neat bundle, often in an upright position, while they are in the dishwasher or drying in a utensil caddy. This ensures they are washed and dried thoroughly. New people bought the house next door and are running this machine with a tube into their house. It's stinking up the whole neighborhood. The setup includes a green tank-like thing. What is it? The green tank thing is an air compressor. However, the big black hose is likely connected to something else that is causing the smell. As the commenter suggests, if it sounds like an engine running, there's probably some 2-stroke engine-powered equipment in use. This could be a large blower for drying out the house, if there was water damage, a powerful vacuum, or some other piece of restoration equipment. 2-stroke engines are known for their smelly exhaust, which is likely the source of the fumes that are giving the neighbor a headache. Found in an Amazon grab box, this set includes one headband-ish thing and 2 smaller covers. The finder thought they were baby mittens, but the insides are not comfortable. What are they? This set is for a car. They are covers for a steering wheel and shoulder pads for the seatbelts. The large, headband-ish, fuzzy gray piece is a cover that stretches over the steering wheel, providing a softer and warmer grip. The two smaller, matching fuzzy covers are shoulder pads. You wrap them around the shoulder strap part of the seatbelt, and they are held in place with Velcro. They are designed to provide some cushioning and prevent the seatbelt from chafing your neck or shoulder. Found while exploring an abandoned property in Australia, this is a brass object with inscriptions like explosive, dangerous, detonator, and a long orange wire connected to it. When reported to police, the attending officer awkwardly laughed and said it was a battery charger. The finder is understandably skeptical. What is this? That cop is smoking something. This is absolutely a blasting cap, a type of detonator used to initiate a larger explosive charge, for example, in mining, quarrying, or demolition. The brass shell contains a small amount of a highly sensitive primary explosive. The long orange wire would be the lead wires that are connected to a blasting machine. When an electrical current is sent down the wire, it heats a bridge wire inside the cap, which detonates the primary explosive, in turn, setting off the main charge. This is an extremely dangerous item and should never be handled. The officer's response was incredibly irresponsible. This very light paper turtle has a very light wooden frame. It was found in a thrift store and looks like it was meant to fly, although there are no signs of cords. The design breathes Asian. What is it? This does kind of resemble those flat-packed pop-up kites. Many traditional Asian kites, especially those sold as souvenirs or for children, are made from silk or paper, stretched over a lightweight bamboo or wooden frame. They are often designed to be collapsed or folded flat for easy packaging and transport. When you're ready to fly it, you pop it up into its 3D shape. The design, with its animal theme, a turtle, and lightweight materials, is very characteristic of this style of kite. It's just missing its flying line. A big thank you to our viewer James, who sent this mystery in for all of us to solve. He unearthed this intriguing non-ferrous metal object while out metal detecting. It has an ornate, circular shape with a pointed extension, but its purpose is a complete puzzle, as even Google Lens couldn't identify it. So, we are turning this one over to you, our brilliant community of detectives. Could it be a piece of antique hardware, a tool, or part of a decorative item? Take a close look and let us know your best theories in the comments below. James is counting on you. Bought at a flea market, this black plastic, possibly Bakelite audio device is a mystery. The buyer's partner, who is into audio stuff, has no idea what it is. What is this vintage audio device? This is a transistor radio. A Google search for Toyo Denki Seizo KK7 reveals this exact model in a now defunct ad and many similar Fujidenki radios. Toyo Denki Seizo was a Japanese manufacturer. This is a very early pocket-sized transistor radio, likely from the late 1950s or early 1960s. The introduction of the transistor revolutionized electronics, allowing for the creation of small, portable devices like this. It's a wonderful piece of early consumer electronics history. Found under about 4 inches of grass and soil when working on a pool, the scooper part seems to be broken off something. It's made of metal, probably steel. The first thought was an ice cream scooper. What is it? This looks like the handle from the backwash valve of a swimming pool filter system. A pool filter, especially a sand or diatomaceous earth, DE, filter, needs to be periodically cleaned by backwashing, which involves reversing the flow of water through the filter. This is done by turning a large multi-port valve. This handle would attach to the top of that valve, providing the leverage needed to turn it to the backwash, rinse, and filter positions. The broken part would be where it connects to the valve stem. This strange 12-panel glass-fronted cabinet has a chimney and an old, rusty metal contraption inside. It opens vertically with 2 handles. The top seems to be tin. The internal mechanism includes a rotating tube and a pivoting vertical pole. What is it? The overall construction of this thing makes the commenter think it is an early fume cupboard from a chemistry lab. A fume cupboard, or fume hood, is a ventilated enclosure used to protect lab workers from hazardous fumes or vapors. This antique version has many of the key features: a glass front, sash that can be raised and locked at different heights, and a chimney at the top to vent the fumes to the outside. The rusty metal contraption inside is likely part of an old apparatus for an experiment that would have been conducted within the safety of the fume hood. This metal, hinged, hatch-like contraption with chains was found by a small pond. It's about 3 feet and doesn't seem to be a hatch for any sort of hole. What is it? This is a mower deck that would be mounted to the back or underneath a small tractor, specifically a type of finish or grooming mower. The main housing covers the rotating blades. The hinged hatch part at the back is often a discharge chute or a cover for mulching. The chains are likely part of the mounting system or are drag chains that help to evenly distribute the cut grass clippings. Its discovery near a pond is fitting, as these are used for mowing large lawns and fields. This small black plastic non-movable cylinder was found loose under the passenger seat of a wife's 2016 Suzuki Swift. Any ideas? This is a protective cover for a hair styler, such as a hair straightener, flat iron, or a curling iron. These heated styling tools often come with a heat-resistant plastic or silicone cover that can be slipped over the hot plates or barrel immediately after use. This allows the tool to be stored away safely while it is still cooling down, protecting surfaces from heat damage and protecting the tool itself from scratches. It likely fell off the hair styler and rolled under the car seat. While cleaning a plaza after a party, these were found. They seem to be almost entirely glass, very light, with a bluish coloring. They have a hollow cavity inside and a metallic bar inside. The finder dropped them a couple of times, and they were relatively sturdy. What are they? These are used disposable tattoo needles and tubes. A modern tattoo machine uses a needle that is attached to a needle bar, the metallic bar. This assembly moves up and down inside a disposable plastic or glass-like tube, which has a tip at the end. The tube serves as a handle for the artist and a reservoir for the ink. After a single use, the entire needle, bar, and tube assembly is considered a biohazard and must be disposed of safely in a sharps container. Finding them discarded in a public plaza is a serious health hazard. Discovered while gardening in southern France, this is a seemingly metallic, roughly fist-sized, spherical, but uneven object. It has a fuse-like lid structure at the top. ChatGPT thinks it could be an old Napoleonic-era hand grenade. Is this correct, and is it dangerous? When in doubt, assume it is unexploded ordnance, UXO, and have an expert look at it. The identification of this as a possible Napoleonic-era hand grenade is very plausible. Early hand grenades were simple, hollow, cast-iron spheres filled with gunpowder, with a hole at the top for a simple friction or burning fuse. Finding one while gardening in southern France, a region with a long history of military conflict, is not unheard of. The crucial advice is to not handle it and to keep a safe distance. Any object that resembles old ammunition or an explosive device should be immediately reported to the local police or a bomb disposal unit for professional and safe identification and removal. This is a small, flexible rubber tube. It was found in a bathroom in an apartment, though a cat may have moved it from elsewhere. It's hollow, with an opening on one end and a rounded point on the other. What is it? This looks like a rubber casing or cover for something, like those rubber-coated hooks that you screw into the wall. Many utility hooks or tool hangers are made of a metal core that is dipped in a soft, non-slip rubber or vinyl coating. This protects the item being hung from being scratched and provides a better grip. It's possible the metal hook part has broken off, or this is just a spare rubber cover that was never used. This hexagonal stick, 3.75 inches, has a turquoise plastic barrel and 2 light yellow painted brass ends. What is it? That is a stylus, but it's missing its rubber tip. A stylus is a pen-like instrument used for interacting with touch screens, especially older resistive touch screens found on PDAs, Nintendo DS consoles, or early smartphones. The hexagonal barrel and brass ends are the body of the stylus, but the functional part, the small soft rubber or plastic nib that actually touches the screen without scratching it, has broken off or been lost. It is an incomplete but recognizable piece of old tech accessory. This handheld tool is similar in size to a long screwdriver and has a springy bent angle and a hex driver head. It was found in a drawer of old tools. Google Lens thought it was an O-ring extractor, but the hex end is wrong for that. What is it? This is a carburetor adjusting tool, used for tuning the idle mixture or speed screws on an automotive carburetor. Specifically, it is believed to be for a mid-1980s GM carburetor. The adjustment screws on these carburetors were often located in hard-to-reach places. This tool, with its long shaft, flexible or springy angle, and specific hex driver head, was designed to reach down past other engine components and engage with those recessed needle valve adjustment screws, allowing a mechanic to fine-tune the carburetor's performance. Received as a wedding gift, this item came in one box, but as two separate pieces. The larger piece is about a foot tall, very heavy, and has a hook inside. The smaller circular piece does not fit on the bottom of the larger piece. There were no instructions. What is this? This is a gong bell or a wind chime. The larger, heavy, bell-shaped part is the main resonance chamber. The smaller circular piece is the wind catcher or sail. A clapper would be suspended from the hook inside the bell, and the wind catcher would be hung from the bottom of the clapper by a string. When the wind catches the sail, it moves, causing the clapper to strike the inside of the bell, producing a deep, resonant tone. The two main pieces were likely just packaged separately for shipping to prevent damage. The model might be similar to the one in the provided link. This is a slider control in a metal case designed to be strapped to something round, like a microphone. It has a single 6-pin locking cable, the kind seen on pro audio gear. The finder wonders if it's a level controller for a microphone or maybe for photo lighting. What is it? This is identified as a PSC, Professional Sound Corporation, boom-mounted fader controller. In film and video production, the sound mixer often needs to adjust the level of a microphone that is mounted on a long boom pole, held by a boom operator. This small, lightweight fader allows the boom operator themselves to make fine adjustments to the microphone's gain or level right at the pole, without having to communicate back to the sound mixer. It would be strapped to the boom pole, and the 6-pin cable would connect it to a portable mixer like the PSC Alpha Mix. This red plastic half circle was found in a kitchen after moving. It is likely from IKEA. What is it? This red plastic half circle is a safety component from an IKEA Frydans blackout roller blind or a similar IKEA blind. These blinds are cordless for child safety. This red piece is a temporary stop or a setting tool used during the installation process to set the tension of the internal spring mechanism that allows the blind to retract smoothly. Once the blind is correctly installed and tensioned, this piece is removed. It was likely left over after the previous tenants installed the blinds. This gray, heavy, pyramid-shaped object is 2 inches tall with a rectangular base and a hole at the top. It was found submerged in a creek bed. What is it? This is a lead sinker used for fishing. Sinkers are weights that are attached to a fishing line to help the bait sink to the desired depth and to provide weight for casting. The pyramid shape is a very popular design, especially for fishing in rivers or currents, as its flat sides help it to grip the bottom and resist being rolled around by the water. The hole at the top is where the fishing line or a swivel would be attached. They are often made of lead, which is very dense and heavy for its size. Found at an antique shop, this has a metal bottom and a small fabric cushion on top. It's slightly heavy, like cast iron. What is it? This could just be a decorative pin cushion. Pin cushions are used by seamstresses and tailors to store sewing pins and needles. While many are simple fabric pillows, in the Victorian era and early 20th century, very ornate versions were common. These often had a heavy base made of cast iron, brass, or even silver, sometimes in the shape of an animal or another decorative form. The heavy base made them stable and kept them from being easily knocked off a sewing table. The fabric cushion on top is where the pins would be stuck. This rubber ring with holes was found in a Beko dishwasher. The finder doesn't know if it's part of the dishwasher or not. What is it? This is the seal from the paddle of a Tefal actifry. An actifry is a popular type of low-fat fryer that uses a rotating paddle to gently stir the food while it is being cooked with hot air. The removable paddle has a silicone or rubber seal around its edge to provide a good fit and to help scrape the cooking pan. This seal is removable for easy cleaning, and it's very common for it to be placed in the dishwasher, where it can sometimes get dislodged and end up in the bottom of the machine, like this one. What is this button on a Revlon hairdryer? The exact model is unknown. The commenter has a Conair hairdryer with a button in the same place, and on their model, it is for retracting the power cord. Many hairdryers have a feature where the cord can be retracted into the handle for neat storage. This button would release a lock on a spring-loaded reel inside the handle, causing the cord to be quickly pulled in. The commenter notes that on their old hairdryer, the spring is mostly worn out, a common failure for this feature over time. It is a cord retract button. Found on the side of the road amongst some gravel near a bus stop, this metal object is 3 inches wide by 8 inches high. What is this heavy-duty engine component? This is identified as a very, very old piston rod, more accurately, a piston and connecting rod assembly from an internal combustion engine. The piston is the cylindrical part that moves up and down inside the engine cylinder. The connecting rod is the arm that connects the piston to the crankshaft. This is a fundamental and very robust component from a large engine, possibly from a truck, a bus, or an old piece of industrial equipment. It likely fell off a truck that was hauling scrap metal or engine parts. This is a 14mm hex head object with a body about an inch long. It's all plastic, and the fins are kind of stiff. It was found in a driveway. What is it from? This looks like one of the plastic plugs that are used to stop moisture and debris from getting into new or remanufactured auto parts during shipping and storage. Components like alternators, power steering pumps, brake calipers, or transmissions have threaded ports where hoses and lines connect. To keep the insides clean before installation, the manufacturer will insert these brightly colored plastic plugs into all the openings. It was likely from a part that was recently installed on a car in the driveway, and the mechanic accidentally dropped or forgot to throw away the plug. This is a marble rectangle with a curved metal arc and a felt-covered bottom about 6 inches long. It has a small handle knob on top. It was found in a box of desk supplies, and the marble matches other desk items. The best guess is some kind of embossing item. What is it? This is an ink blotter, a classic antique desk accessory. In the era of fountain pens and dip pens, which used wet ink, this tool was essential. After writing, the user would rock the blotter over the fresh ink. The absorbent blotting paper held by the curved surface would soak up any excess ink, preventing it from smudging and allowing it to dry more quickly. The heavy marble base gave it stability, and the knob provided a handle for rocking it. These were a standard part of any well-equipped writing desk set. Found while camping, this is a closed tube with a screw for mounting it. There is a controlled rattle inside, as if something is mounted internally, but can still move a bit. It was found in the middle of an access road on Matt Lemon in Tucson, AZ. What is it? The commenter wonders if this is a homemade kickstand for a small trailer. This is a plausible guess. A small utility or camping trailer often has a jack stand at the front, on the tongue, to hold it level when it's not attached to a vehicle. This could be a homemade version of such a stand, or perhaps a simpler support leg for the rear corner of the trailer to provide stability when parked. The screw would be for mounting it, and the rattling part inside could be an adjustable inner leg that was not fully secured. This large iron cylinder, about 5 feet tall with a handle, was found in Northern Ireland. It has Lisburn written on it. What is this piece of antique farm equipment? This is likely part of a boiler or steamer, specifically one used for cooking livestock feed. Research shows a Mr. Richard Robinson of Lisburn, Northern Ireland, who was active in agricultural societies in the 1840s and dealt in steaming apparatus with cast metal boilers for farm use. This apparatus would be used to steam or boil things like potatoes, grains, or other fodder to make it more palatable and digestible for pigs and other livestock. It's a large, heavy-duty piece of agricultural history from the 19th century. Found in the garage with camping supplies, folded neatly, this object had a small tag that said YL. It's made of a fabric-like material, has a zipper, elastic at the corners, but no spots for poles like a tent would. What is it? This looks like it could be a car cover. Car covers are large, fitted sheets of protective fabric designed to be placed over a vehicle when it's parked, protecting it from dust, sun, rain, and scratches. The elastic at the corners is a key feature, as it's used to secure the cover snugly around the car's bumpers. A zipper might provide access to the driver's door without having to remove the entire cover. The YL on the tag could refer to the size, perhaps youth large, though it's more likely a manufacturer's code. Bought a 6-pack of Levi's men's boxers from Marshall's and found this piece of fabric tied to a string, which was attached to one of the boxers. It appears to have pen handwriting on it and looks intentionally put together. Was it to help label at the factory? Yes, that's exactly what it is. A person with a degree in fashion design who used to run a clothing production floor confirms this is not supposed to be in the final product. It is a tag used for internal tracking of item production on the factory floor. Scrap fabric is marked with whatever information the factory needs, like order number, size, color, or machine operator, and is then tied to an item or, more commonly, a bundle of completed items. This helps track the work as it moves through the production line. It was supposed to be removed before packaging, but was accidentally left on. These two displays, each about 1 foot square, look like LED lights but don't produce much visible light output. They are mounted on the side of a wall near a railroad in El Segundo, CA. What are they? These are IR, infrared emitters or illuminators. They are essentially floodlights, but they produce light in the infrared spectrum, which is invisible to the human eye. They are used to illuminate an area for night vision security cameras. The security cameras can see the infrared light, allowing them to produce a clear, bright image, even in complete darkness, without creating any visible light that would alert people to the presence of the cameras. Their location near a railroad suggests they are part of a security monitoring system for that area. While redoing the landscape, a grate was found. When opened, it revealed a large vault with a large cylindrical piece of equipment with hoses or tubing coming off it. It was producing heat. The finder wonders if it's an electrical transformer. A utility guy confirms that is absolutely the transformer providing electrical service to your house, and it is deadly. In areas with underground electrical service, the high voltage lines run underground to these pad-mounted or vault-housed transformers. The transformer steps the high voltage down to the standard 120-240 volts used in your home. The hoses are heavily insulated high voltage cables. The heat is a normal byproduct of the transformer's operation. The advice is critical. Do not touch anything, stay out, and call the power company immediately to report that one of their transformer vaults is uncovered so they can secure it safely. Found in a backyard in Ontario, this is very heavy, most likely cast iron. The finder thinks it's a piece of farm equipment. What is this specific valve for? This is a foot valve. A foot valve is a type of check valve, a one-way valve, that is installed at the bottom of the intake or suction line of a water pump, for example, a pump that is drawing water from a lake or a well for a garden hose, as the commenter uses. Its purpose is twofold. First, the screen over the intake prevents large rocks, leaves, and debris from being sucked into the pump and damaging it. Second, the one-way valve prevents the water from draining back out of the suction line when the pump is turned off, which keeps the pump primed and ready to work the next time it's turned on. This metal rod has a threaded top part that looks like it would screw onto something. It was found on the side of the road. What is it? This is a short antenna for a car or truck, often called a shorty or stubby antenna. Many people replace the long, whip-style factory antenna on their vehicle with a much shorter one like this for purely aesthetic reasons, as they give the car a cleaner look. They are also less likely to get caught on things like car wash brushes or low garage doors. This one has likely unscrewed from its base due to vibration while driving and fallen off a vehicle onto the side of the road. This solid plastic object looks like it could be used to seal something off, but has no hinge. It was found in a kitchen drawer. The little white things look like they can slide out. What is it? This is an angle guide for sharpening knives. When sharpening a kitchen knife on a whetstone, it's crucial to maintain a consistent angle between the blade and the stone to get a good edge. This plastic guide clips onto the spine of the knife. The user then rests the guide on the surface of the whetstone as they sharpen. This automatically holds the knife at the correct preset angle, making it much easier for a novice to achieve a professional quality sharpened edge without years of practice. This small, tubular plastic object was found in a Walmart parking lot. What is this common toy part? It's an exhaust pipe for Lego. This is a common and recognizable Lego element, often included in vehicle sets like cars, trucks, or motorcycles. It's a small plastic piece designed to look like a chrome exhaust pipe, and it would be attached to a Lego vehicle to add a realistic detail. Finding a single small Lego piece in a public place, like a Walmart parking lot, is an extremely common occurrence, as they are easily dropped and lost from a child's toy or a recently purchased set. They've started placing these small pole-like things around this Greek area. The finder wonders if it has to do with an upcoming subway, metro, or tram system. What are they? They look like docking stations for a city bike-sharing program. These systems have become very popular in cities around the world. Users can rent a bicycle from one station, ride it to their destination, and then return it to any other docking station in the city. Each of these pole-like things is an individual dock that securely locks a bicycle in place and also handles the rental transaction, often through a credit card reader or a smartphone app. The appearance of these stations indicates the city is launching or expanding a public bike rental service. Found buried in a garden in the UK, this is a small cube about 1.5 centimeter tall. It's made of lightweight white plastic and has a central hole that goes all the way through and 3 channels on the other sides, all filled with dirt. What is it from? This is a component from a building toy called the Ello Creation System. Ello was a construction toy line introduced by Mattel in the early 2000s, primarily marketed towards girls. The system consisted of various colorful plastic panels, sticks, beads, and connectors, including cube-shaped connectors like this one that could be used to build characters, houses, jewelry, and other imaginative creations. The channels and hole are where other parts of the set would connect. It's a lost piece from a unique, but now discontinued, toy set. This is a 1.5-inch long brown plastic and metal thing that is magnetic. What is it? This is one part of a standard cabinet door magnetic catch. A magnetic catch is a simple piece of hardware used to keep a cabinet door closed. It consists of 2 parts, a small magnet housed in plastic, the part you found, which is mounted on the cabinet frame, and a small metal plate, which is mounted on the door. When the door is closed, the magnet attracts the metal plate, holding the door shut. This is the magnet half of that common hardware set. This tong type of thing is slightly springy, about 3 inches long, and was found in a hutch of miniatures. What is this small, precise-looking handle for? This is the handle to an old razor blade sharpener. Before disposable razors, men used double-edged safety razor blades that were meant to be used multiple times. To extend their life, various sharpening devices were invented. This handle would have held 2 small glass balls, or abrasive rollers. The user would place a dull razor blade between the rollers, and by moving the blade back and forth, the edges would be honed and sharpened. The handle itself is all that remains of this clever vintage grooming gadget. The glass balls are missing. This piece of metal with a screw in it was found in a box with the number 8 written on top. It was found after a home renovation and is possibly related to furniture or gypsum partitioning. What is it? This is a mounting clip for a kitchen sink. When installing a drop-in kitchen sink, which sits on top of the countertop, these clips are used underneath to secure the sink firmly to the countertop. The clip is hooked into a channel on the underside of the sink's rim. The screw is then tightened, and its end pushes up against the bottom of the countertop, pulling the sink down and creating a tight seal. It's a fundamental piece of hardware for a secure and leak-free sink installation. My family has had this small wooden handheld paddle thing for a while. It was my babcia's, Polish for grandmother. It has a hook on the back and is handheld. Any help is appreciated. What is it? This is likely a distaff, a tool used in hand spinning to hold the unspun fibers such as wool or flax. The prepared fibers would be wrapped and tied around the paddle-like end of the distaff. The spinner could then hold the distaff in one hand or tuck it into their belt, freeing up their hands to draft the fibers and operate the spindle or spinning wheel. It's an essential tool that acts as a third hand, keeping the fiber supply neat and untangled during the spinning process. It's a wonderful piece of traditional textile history. Found among now deceased grandparents' things, this metal object has a U-shaped slide and notches and a soft pad on a circular part. Dad has asked everyone, but no one has an idea. What is it? It is a clothes rack for the car, designed to extend the reach and capacity of the small clothes hook that is already in most vehicles above the rear passenger doors. The main part of the device would hang from that built-in hook. The extending bar or slide would then provide a proper clothes rod, allowing multiple garments on hangers to be hung without getting wrinkled. It was a common accessory for travelers or salespeople who needed to transport clothes on hangers in their vehicle. There are 9 of these on the outside of an old house's garage. They are 2 by 2 inches and consist of hooks and some kind of metal piece that looks like it could hold a line. Mom thinks it's for a wash line, but why would there be 9 of them? Those are 1960s-era stringers for Christmas lights. The commenter had them all across the front of their house. Instead of the small plastic clips used on modern light strings, these older systems used these more permanent, individually installed holders. You would string a wire or the Christmas light cord itself through these hooks. They were designed to be a permanent installation, so that putting up and taking down the Christmas lights each year would be a simple matter of stringing the lights through these pre-installed hooks. This small hex-shaped tablet appeared on a kitchen counter in Boston. It's firm, but not hard like plastic, and could be dug into with a fingernail. It has an X imprint on both sides. Guesses include a dog treat or a cleaning product. What is it? This looks like a Mint-on-Zip mint, a brand of strong mint or pastille from Finland. They are known for their distinctive hexagonal shape and X imprint. While the commenter notes it's highly unlikely, as they are not sold directly in the US, it is possible they were brought back by someone who had traveled or purchased from a specialty import store. The firm but sliceable texture is also consistent with a pressed mint candy. We just moved into a house, and several rooms have this 2-inch-ish threaded hole cover. The inside is threaded, but there is no central vacuum system in the house. What are they? This might be half of a wall-eye through wall port, possibly used for passing an Ethernet or coaxial cable through a wall. The wall-eye is a system of 2 threaded tubes that screw together from opposite sides of a wall, creating a neat, finished-looking pass-through port. It seems a previous resident may have used just one half of the system, installing it to run a wire into the wall cavity rather than all the way through, perhaps to route cables to a different location. They have left the cosmetic wall-side half of the port behind. Found among a late grandfather's things, this metal tube screws open. Inside, there's a smaller knurled rod that can be screwed into the tube in 2 different ways. It doesn't stick to magnets. What is it? It's a dog whistle, and the commenter has almost the exact same one. This is a type of adjustable, high-frequency whistle. By screwing the knurled rod in or out, the user can change the length of the resonating chamber, which alters the frequency of the sound it produces. Many of these whistles are designed to operate in the ultrasonic range, which is audible to dogs, but largely inaudible to humans. They are used in dog training to give commands over a distance without shouting. The adjustable frequency allows a trainer to find a pitch that a specific dog responds to best. This plastic cap is on top of a pole sticking out about 10 feet from a neighbor's house roof. What is this? This is a personal weather station, PWS, and it looks like a model from the brand EcoWit or a similar company. These all-in-one sensor suites are popular with weather hobbyists. They contain multiple sensors in one unit to measure various weather conditions, such as wind speed and direction, with an anemometer and wind vane, rainfall, with a rain gauge, temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure. The data is then transmitted wirelessly to an indoor display console or uploaded to the internet. The pole is to mount it high up, clear of obstructions. Found in Torino, Italy, what are these metal decorative things that restrict the width of a car park entry? What is their purpose? These are called chasse-roues, French for wheel chasers, or boutereaux, and they are a traditional architectural feature. They are designed to keep the wheels of horse-drawn carriages and later automobiles away from the corners of doorways, archways, and building walls as they pass through. The curved or angled stone or metal guard would push the wheel away from the corner, preventing the hub of the wheel from striking and damaging the stonework or the vehicle. They are a classic and functional piece of defensive architecture found in many old European cities. About 15 of these were seen at a time on Route 59 in the suburbs near Chicago, IL. Inside the front cabin were soldiers in full tactical gear, including helmets. The trucks had no license plates. What are these military vehicles? These are Improved Ribbon Bridge, IRB, trucks. The IRB is a modern, mobile, floating bridge system used by military engineering units to quickly create a bridge or a ferry raft over a river or other water obstacle. The large flatbed section of the truck carries a folded section of the bridge, known as a bay. These trucks can drive directly into the water, and hydraulic systems unfold the bridge sections, which are then connected together to form a continuous bridge capable of supporting heavy vehicles like tanks. You were likely seeing a National Guard unit on a drill, practicing the deployment of this impressive piece of military engineering equipment. A kid found this plastic thing somewhere in the house but can't remember where. Reverse image search suggests a pipe clamp or part of an elliptical machine, neither of which are in the house. What is this? The mystery is solved. This is a set of plastic tongs from a Toy Time BBQ Grill Kids Play kitchen set. It is a small plastic accessory that comes with a children's toy barbecue grill. The shape, which might seem strange on its own, is perfectly suited for a child to pretend to flip toy hamburgers or hot dogs on their play grill. It's a common occurrence in a house with kids for small toy parts to get separated from the main playset and turn up in the most unexpected places. This metal rod has a cap over what seems to be a plug-in. The threaded top looks like it would screw into something. It was in a return box. The finder thinks it's a thermocouple. What is it? This is a tube to install a thermocouple in a pressure vessel, also known as a thermowell. A thermocouple is a temperature sensor, but its own delicate probe might not be strong enough to withstand the high pressure inside a tank or pipe. A thermowell is a strong, closed-ended tube that is permanently threaded into the vessel. The thermocouple is then inserted into the thermowell. This allows the thermocouple to measure the temperature of the fluid inside, while being protected from the pressure and corrosive effects of that fluid. It also allows the thermocouple to be replaced without having to shut down and drain the entire system. This lens-shaped, glass-looking item is embedded in a curb. It's about 3 inches in diameter and says M2 on it. What is it for? This is a curb marker, and it's pretty sure to be metal, not glass. These markers are used to indicate the location of some underground utility, a property boundary line, an easement, or a survey point. The commenter correctly notes that a survey pin is usually a specific point, not a 3-inch wide disc. This is more likely a general location marker, perhaps for a water valve or a sewer cleanout, placed by a utility company or the municipality. The M2 would be a specific code or identifier used by the entity that installed it. A small piece of black mesh, about 1 inch in size, was found near an HVAC register. It's soft and fabric-like. The finder is concerned it could indicate a pest problem after recent storm damage. What is it? This is a piece of the kind of mesh strap used to hold HVAC ducts in place. The large, flexible ducts that run through an attic or crawl space are often supported by wide, strong, woven mesh straps that are slung underneath them and attached to the ceiling joists. Over time, or if disturbed during work, like storm damage repairs, the ends of these straps can fray. A small piece could then have been drawn into the ductwork through a leaky seam and been blown out through the register. It's a piece of the duct support system, not a sign of pests. This hard plastic, kind of heavy object appeared on the living room floor. The lined part is grippy rubber. The finder thinks it might be something from their young kids. What is it? These are the rubber feet from a piece of furniture, most likely a step stool. Many household items like step stools, small ladders, or even some small tables and appliances have rubber feet on the bottom of their legs. These feet serve two crucial purposes. The grippy rubber provides traction and prevents the item from slipping on a smooth floor, and they also protect the floor surface from being scratched. These feet can sometimes come loose and fall out, especially from a well-used item like a child's step stool. Found while metal detecting at an old home in New England, this aluminum piece appears to show a Pegasus and has random numbers on it. What is this? This is a Reader's Digest sweepstakes token. For many years, Reader's Digest ran massive, highly publicized sweepstakes promotions through direct mail. These mailings often included a sheet of small punch-out tokens or keys, sometimes made of plastic or foil-coated cardboard like this one. The recipient was instructed to place a specific token, identified by its number or symbol, like the Pegasus, onto an entry form to claim their winning prize number. It is a classic piece of marketing ephemera from the late 20th century. This 301-inch piece of thin silver metal was found in a garbage disposal that is never used. One end appears to have snapped off. What could it be from? The commenter feels like this is a cheap cheese knife. Many inexpensive sets of cheese spreaders or knives consist of a decorative handle, made of plastic, wood, or ceramic, into which a small metal blade or spreader is inserted and glued. This found piece, with its made in China part, is the blade itself. The small part, or tang, has snapped off from inside the handle, which has been lost. It's the functional part of a very common and often low-quality piece of serveware. This gray plastic handle with a hole was found behind a washing machine. It's a 5-centimeter plastic thing with a handle and a round cylinder with a hole going through it. The finder couldn't figure out where it's missing from. This looks a lot like the handle for a shutoff valve, specifically a ball valve. Ball valves are commonly used for water or gas lines and are operated by a quarter-turn handle. This plastic handle would fit over the metal stem of the valve. Usually, these handles are color-coded, red for hot, blue for cold, but gray ones exist, or this might be a replacement. It could be the handle from the water supply valve for the washing machine, which may have been removed or broken off. Behind a funeral home, there are pallets stacked with these white-ish plastic objects, approximately 3 feet wide by 6 feet long and of various thicknesses. What are they? These look like components for plastic burial vaults, or perhaps plastic caskets themselves. A burial vault is a sealed outer container that a casket is placed into in the ground. Its purpose is to protect the casket and to prevent the ground from subsiding over the grave. Some modern burial vaults, like the Maximus burial vault mentioned, are made from durable, non-biodegradable plastic and can be assembled from modular pieces like these. They offer a lighter and often less expensive alternative to traditional concrete burial vaults. This black plastic device, with a very sharp metal protrusion, was found in an Ohio driveway. What is this specific cleaning tool? This is the groove cleaner component from a MaxFly golf club cleaning brush. Golf club brushes are multi-function tools used to clean the grooves on the face of an iron or wedge. They usually have nylon bristles for general cleaning and wire bristles for tougher dirt. This specific component is a sharp, pointed metal spike that is designed to retract into or fold out of the brush handle. It is used to scrape out packed dirt, sand, and grass from the score lines, grooves, of the club face, which is essential for maintaining spin and control. It's not supposed to fall out, but on cheaper tools, it can. Small white balls were found in the backyard. They are difficult to break open, and the finder thinks their kid ate one and threw up. It's not a BB or airsoft pellet. Inside, it was hollow, but looked kind of like a popcorn kernel. What are they? This is pretty sure to be a limestone pellet. Pelletized limestone is used in agriculture and lawn care to adjust the pH of acidic soils, a process called liming. The powdered limestone is formed into small, hard pellets to make it easy to spread with a standard fertilizer spreader. The commenter suggests a simple test. Put one in vinegar. Since limestone is calcium carbonate, it will fizz and dissolve when exposed to the acid in the vinegar. This would confirm its identity and also confirm that, while not meant for consumption, it is a common soil amendment and generally non-toxic. This chair thing is wood, small adult or child-sized, and was found at the plantation house by Gaylords in Hawaii. What is this specific piece of furniture? This is a telephone bench or a telephone desk. This was a very common piece of furniture from the mid-20th century, from the era when telephones were landlines and were a stationary object in a home, usually in the hallway or a living room. The piece of furniture combined a small seat for one person with a small table or surface next to it. The table was for placing the telephone on and often had a small drawer or a shelf underneath for storing a phone book. It was a dedicated spot for making and receiving phone calls. A pack of mostly black strips of paper was found in an office. What are they? They kind of look like the paper bands that restaurants use to wrap around rolled silverware. After washing, restaurant staff will often roll a set of silverware, a knife, fork, and spoon, into a paper or cloth napkin. To keep the bundle neat and hygienic, a small paper band, often with a self-adhesive tab, is then wrapped around the middle of the roll. These bands are a common restaurant supply item, and a pack of them could have ended up in an office for any number of reasons. Found in the Swiss Alps, not near any footpaths and next to a small mountain river, this is a heavy metal object with prongs. It looks like some type of military device. What is it? You need to contact the local bomb squad Josh EOD organization. This is identified as anti-tank ordnance, possibly a shaped charge warhead or a similar projectile. The Swiss Alps are heavily fortified and have been used for military training for centuries. This is an extremely dangerous piece of unexploded ordnance, UXO. The prongs or standoff at the front are characteristic of some high-explosive anti-tank heat rounds designed to detonate the warhead at the optimal distance from the armor to maximize its penetrating effect. It should never be touched or moved. This round, hollow ceramic cylinder was found with a Chinese tea set. The finder thought it was a stand for something in the kit, but it's so thin that it's pretty unstable with anything put on top of it. What is this minimalist ceramic piece? That little cylinder is actually a teapot, chachong. They are a common and charming accessory in traditional Chinese gongfu tea ceremonies. You don't use it as a stand or for drinking. Instead, during a tea session, it is a tradition to pour leftover or excess tea over the teapot for good luck and to nourish or season it over time. With repeated exposure to tea, the unglazed clay of the teapot will gradually absorb the tea's color and aroma, developing a beautiful patina. While many teapots are shaped like animals or mythical creatures, simple, minimalist geometric shapes like this cylinder are also common. It's a purely ritualistic and aesthetic part of the tea experience. Found on the street, this is an electronic component that smells sweet and fruity, like an e-cigarette. It has two knobs, a battery, a display, and what appear to be two vape coils. The UFO on the display is a mystery. What is this? This is indeed the internal assembly of a vape or e-cigarette, but likely a more advanced or customizable model. The battery is a typical vape type, and the coils are the heating elements that vaporize the e-liquid. Having two coils indicates it's a dual coil atomizer, which can produce more vapor. The display would show information like battery life and vape juice level. The UFO is almost certainly just a fun, custom graphic or logo programmed into the device's firmware by the manufacturer with no functional meaning. This is what's left after the outer casing was broken or removed. Found in the Eure River in Chartres, France, these are metal and plastic boxes, about 1 meter to a side. What are these submerged, modern-looking boxes? An accompanying picture of the opposite river wall at night solves the mystery. These boxes are part of a light installation. They are waterproof housings that contain powerful lights, likely LEDs. During the day, they are just unassuming boxes in the river. At night, as part of a city's light show or architectural lighting scheme, Chartres is famous for its Chartres en Lumière event. These submerged lights are turned on, illuminating the historic bridges, buildings, and riverbanks from the water, creating beautiful and dramatic reflections on the river's surface. While moving, 4 or so of these windowless red houses were noticed off the side of the highway, in the middle of nowhere. They are hours away from anything, with not even a road leading to them. The picture quality is poor. What are they? As the commenter notes, the location would be very helpful. Without a precise location, identification is speculative. However, windowless structures like these in remote locations are often related to infrastructure. They could be sheds housing equipment for a pipeline, pumping or monitoring stations, telecommunications, repeater stations for fiber optic cables, or railway signaling systems. Their uniform color and construction suggest they belong to a single company or utility. Their windowless design provides security and protects the internal equipment from the elements and vandalism. This is an office in a courthouse, at a time when spittoons were still in use. Above the desk are 2 tall things. One is a black box. The other, the object in question, looks to be a thin white screen, perhaps 12/24 inches, with a pointer of some kind pointing to it. What is this? This thin white screen is most likely a framed document with text that has been washed out due to the quality of the old photograph, making it appear as a blank white surface. The pointer might simply be an illusion created by a shadow or an object in the room. At the top of the frame, one can faintly see something that looks like a logo or a seal, which is consistent with an official document, a diploma, a certificate of office, or a legal notice, which would be appropriately displayed in a courthouse office of that era. There are 2 of these empty plastic outlet things in a newly bought house, one upstairs and one downstairs, both above light switches. What are these empty plates? This is a thermostat mounting plate. When a thermostat is removed from the wall, this is the plastic-based plate that is often left behind. The thermostat itself would have clipped onto this plate, and the wires that control the heating and/or air conditioning system would pass through the hole in the center. The previous homeowners likely took their smart thermostats, like a Nest or Ecobee, with them when they moved, leaving behind the standard mounting plates. You can now install new thermostats onto these plates. This small concrete building is on the Pennsylvania shore of Lake Erie. What is its purpose? This is exactly like a water level monitoring station. Government agencies like the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, or the Army Corps of Engineers maintain a network of these stations along coasts, Great Lakes, and rivers. The small, robust, concrete building houses sensitive instruments that continuously measure and record the water level. This data is critical for monitoring tides, storm surges, lake levels for shipping, and for long-term studies related to climate change and coastal management. The data is often transmitted in real time via satellite. A new house has this kitchen pull-out cabinet that has 4 bars at the top. What are they for? This is likely a pull-out towel rack. The narrow, full-height pull-out cabinet, often located near a sink, is a clever way to use a small space in kitchen design. The bars are for hanging kitchen towels, dishcloths, and sponges. By having them on a pull-out rack inside a cabinet, they are kept neatly out of sight, but still have good air circulation to allow them to dry properly between uses. It's a functional and integrated solution for kitchen linen storage. These strange baskets on poles are found all over a local county nature preserve in northeastern Ohio. They are generally in clusters of 2 or 3 and look like they are each covering a single branch of a bush or tree. What are they for? The commenter has seen these things being used to capture spotted lanternflies at the Bronx Zoo. The spotted lanternfly is an invasive insect that is very harmful to trees and crops. These baskets on poles are likely a type of trap being used by the nature preserve for monitoring or control of this pest. Different types of traps are used, but they often involve a funnel or a sticky surface to capture the insects as they climb up the trunks of trees, which is their natural behavior. Found in a village in Turkey, this thing is big and wide and has a circle-like top. The finder doesn't know what it is or what it was used for. What is this outdoor decorative item? This appears to be either a bird bath or a large, shallow planter. As a bird bath, the wide, shallow, circular top would be filled with water for birds to drink and bathe in. As a planter, it would be filled with soil and planted with flowers, particularly shallow-rooted ones like succulents or annuals, creating a beautiful garden feature. Without seeing the depth of the top basin, it's hard to be certain, but both are very common decorative and functional items for gardens and courtyards. Buried under mulch on the side of a house built in 1925 are these odd-shaped concrete forms, about 4 feet. What were they for? Those were for in-ground trash bins. The commenter's town had them until the 1990s. This was a system where a metal or concrete basin was sunk into the ground, and a standard metal trash can would then be placed inside this basin. This kept the cans neat, out of sight, and prevented them from being knocked over by animals or wind. When garbage collectors required residents to put their trash cans out on the street for modern collection trucks, these in-ground systems were abandoned, and the basins were often simply filled in with soil and forgotten. This is a singular concrete hole in the ground with a thick plastic, mini propane canister-like object anchored to the bottom. It sits about 20 feet from the bank of a river in Vancouver, BC. It's in a newly developing area. What is it? This is definitely a monitoring well used for sampling groundwater. An environmental sampler confirms this. These wells are bored into the ground to monitor for contaminants in the groundwater, such as PFAS, TCE, or petroleum products, especially in areas with past industrial use or before new development. The thick plastic object inside is part of the well screen and casing. Environmental technicians use a special pump, like a peristaltic pump with clean tubing, to draw water samples from a set level within the well for laboratory analysis. The concrete protects the wellhead. Partially buried in a park, this was thought to be a firecracker, but is mechanical with a red wire on one side and a white one on the other. What is it? This is an 18250-sized lithium battery. Lithium-ion batteries come into various standard cylindrical sizes, identified by numbers representing their dimensions. 18 means it's 18 millimeter in diameter, and 250 means it's 25.0 millimeter long. The wires attached to it suggest it was part of a battery pack or was wired into a specific device, possibly a high-power flashlight, a vape, or a hobbyist's electronics project. Finding one buried in a park is odd, but it is a common type of rechargeable battery. This is a foot-long plastic thing with dimples and a piece of blue foam. It has notches for adjusting at one end. What is this piece of personal care equipment? This is a back stretcher with an adjustable position, and the commenter owns the same thing. It is a simple orthopedic device used for lumbar support and stretching. The user lies on the floor and places this arched device under their lower back. The curved shape helps to stretch the spine and relieve tension in the back muscles. The notches at one end allow the user to change the height and intensity of the arch, providing a progressively deeper stretch as their flexibility improves. The blue foam provides a comfortable cushion along the spine. This black, metallic, threaded thing with a pointy cone tip was found on the asphalt next to a car's back wheel. It's about 5 centimeters long. It looks like a car part, but similar parts usually have a ball or a notch, not a cone. What is it? This looks like a part from a tripod, specifically a spiked foot. Many professional tripods, used for cameras or surveying equipment, have interchangeable feet. For use indoors on smooth surfaces, they have rubber feet. But for use outdoors on soft ground, ice, or uneven terrain, the rubber feet can be removed or retracted to expose a sharp metal spike. This spike provides a much more stable and secure footing. This is likely one of those spiked feet that has unscrewed and fallen off a photographer's or surveyor's tripod. These metal poles are in a park. One is a spiral, others are poles with mesh-like cages. They are too small to be modern play equipment. Could they be bird feeders? After contacting the city manager, the mystery is solved. They are indeed old playground equipment that was left up in the butterfly garden to be used by squirrels and birds. The spiral pole was likely a small slide or a fire pole that a child could climb. The wired basket's function wasn't specified, but they could have been part of a climbing structure or a ball game. Instead of removing the old, potentially non-compliant equipment, the park has repurposed it as a kind of enrichment structure for local wildlife, as evidenced by a squirrel seen climbing on one. Found in a kitchen cabinet, this is a silver stainless steel cylinder, about 8 inches tall and 4 inches wide. It has 2 parts, separated by a spring. It weighs less than a pound. What is this kitchen appliance? This is the internal assembly of a stovetop coffee percolator. A percolator brews coffee by continuously cycling boiling water up through a central tube. The water then sprays over coffee grounds, held in a perforated basket at the top. This stainless steel cylinder is that central tube and basket assembly. The spring is what creates tension, holding the assembly together and pressing the basket lid down, ensuring the water is distributed evenly over the grounds. This whole unit would be placed inside the main coffee pot. This pink box with a fan is attached to a workbox truck in the Florida Panhandle. The finder assumes it's some sort of AC, but its placement on the rear doors is unusual. Could it be for refrigerant? It's a mini-split air conditioner, well, half of one anyways. A ductless mini-split AC system has 2 main parts, an indoor air handling unit and an outdoor compressor, jar condenser unit like this one. This pink box is the outdoor unit, containing the compressor, condenser coil, and fan. It is normally installed on the outside of a building. In this case, it has been mounted to the work truck's rear doors to provide air conditioning to the interior workspace, a clever, if unconventional, custom installation. This tall structure with a cylindrical spinning part attached was found near the US-Canada border. What is this large piece of monitoring or communication equipment? It's the business end of a radar system. The spinning cylindrical or mesh part is the radar antenna or scanner. It rotates to send out pulses of radio waves and to listen for their reflections from objects. This could be a weather radar station, part of the NEXRAD network, an air traffic control radar for a nearby airport, or possibly a military surveillance or early warning radar, given its proximity to an international border. The tall structure is to elevate the antenna above obstructions and increase its line of sight range. This light metal piece was found in a driveway and looks as though something ran over it. What is this common piece of fishing tackle? This is the spinner or blade from a fishing lure. Many fishing lures, especially those called spinners or spinner baits, incorporate a small, often shiny metal blade that is designed to rotate or flutter through the water as the lure is retrieved. This spinning action creates flash and vibration, which mimics the appearance and movement of a small bait fish and attracts predatory fish like bass, trout, or pike. This one likely fell out of an angler's tackle box or off a lure that was in the back of a truck and then got run over. This little orange thing is soft like a pillow with a 100% polyester shell and filling. The round white section in the center can be loosened or tightened. It's about the width of a soccer ball. What is this comfortable-looking pet accessory? This is an inflatable pet e-collar, a more comfortable alternative to the classic plastic cone of shame. After surgery, or to prevent a dog or cat from licking a wound or hot spot, an Elizabethan collar, e-collar, is used to stop them from reaching the area with their mouth. This inflatable, pillow-like version serves the same purpose. The pet's regular collar is threaded through the loops in the center, and the inflatable ring is then placed around their neck. It creates a soft barrier that prevents them from reaching most parts of their body, but it is generally less cumbersome and obstructive to their vision and movement than a hard plastic cone. This curved double hook, made from a single piece of wire or metal, is a mystery. A pen is shown for scale, indicating its small size. What is this simple and practical automotive accessory? This is a headrest hook for a car. It's a simple but very useful accessory designed to provide extra storage space in a vehicle. The top part of the hook slides over the metal posts of a front seat's headrest. The bottom part, the double hook, then provides a convenient place to hang items like a purse, a grocery bag, a backpack, or a jacket. This keeps items off the floor or seat, preventing them from spilling or getting dirty, and keeps them easily accessible. They are a common and inexpensive aftermarket car accessory. This machine was found in an old tannery that was later used as part of an industrial mill. It's made of metal and wood with a rope around the central part and is approximately 1.4 meters in height. What is this piece of industrial machinery? This looks like a belt-driven winch. In the era of early industrialization, before individual electric motors were common on every machine, factories often had a central steam engine or water wheel that drove a system of overhead line shafts and leather belts that ran throughout the building. This winch would have been powered by one of those flat leather belts, running on the large pulley wheel. Its purpose would be for hoisting heavy materials, such as bundles of hides in the tannery or bags of grain in the mill, between different floors of the building. It is a classic piece of line shaft-era industrial technology. Found while organizing old boxes, this battery-operated plastic object weighs 1 pound and is about 8 inches tall. It has no buttons, and putting in 6 AA batteries didn't cause it to react. What is it? This is an electric pepper grinder or salt mill. These battery-operated kitchen gadgets are designed for one-handed use. They often have no external buttons. Instead, they are gravity-activated. When you turn the grinder upside down over your food, a sensor triggers the motor, which grinds the peppercorns or salt crystals. The reason it didn't react when batteries were put in is likely because it needs to be inverted to activate, or the internal mechanism is simply broken or corroded from years of storage. Found in a small hardware box at a yard sale, this is a small cylindrical aluminum piece with conical threads on the outside. It came with a piece of metal that fits inside like a key or tool. A quarter is shown for scale. What is this for? The commenter knows this one. It's part of a garden hose repair kit. When a garden hose gets a hole or a cut, you can repair it by cutting out the damaged section. You then insert a plastic or metal mender into the 2 cut ends of the hose. This threaded aluminum piece is a clamp. It is slid over the hose before the mender is inserted. You then screw this clamp down over the hose, compressing it tightly onto the barbed mender inside, which creates a secure, leak-proof seal. The key would be a small tool to help tighten it. Found in the backyard of a squatter's house in Ontario, this is a brown, plastic, paper-like film. It seems to have come out of a tube, tightly curled up, but it falls apart easily. The first time, it was found in a cut-open lead pipe. What is this material? This is probably the insulation from old copper wire. The brown, paper-like film is the old-style insulation that was wrapped around the copper conductors inside an electrical cable. Squatters or thieves will often steal copper wire and then burn the insulation off to get to the valuable copper metal inside, which they can then sell for scrap. This flimsy, burnt insulation material is the waste product of that process. The presence of a cut-open pipe might be unrelated, or it could have been used in the burning process. A weird, metal-looking thing was found burnt on the ground after a lightning strike caused a power outage. What is this piece of electrical infrastructure? This is a terminal cover off of a power pole transformer. The transformers that step down high-voltage electricity for residential use have large, exposed metal terminals or bushings on top where the power lines connect. To prevent animals like squirrels or birds from making contact with 2 terminals at once, which would electrocute them and cause a power outage, these plastic or composite covers are installed over the terminals. It is very likely that a lightning strike hit the transformer, causing this protective cover to be blown off and partially burned. This 2.5-inch long piece of sheet metal, marked H7551, was found in a parking garage. 3 of them were found, one without a circular hole, but with the same marking. What is it? Nope, not part of a seatbelt. This is apparently a part from a Duncan parking meter. An eBay listing for a Duncan parking meter coin chute and baffle assembly shows parts that are very similar or identical. Duncan was a major manufacturer of mechanical parking meters for many decades. This sheet metal piece would be an internal component of the meter's coin handling or validation mechanism. It's a specific functional part from a now vintage piece of municipal hardware. A cream-colored box above a shower in a new apartment is making a strange buzzing noise that won't stop, even when the light switches are turned off. What is this box, and why is it making noise? This box is probably an exhaust fan for the bathroom. To prevent moisture buildup and mold, many modern bathroom fans are equipped with a timer or a humidistat. They will continue to run for a set period of time, e.g., 15 minutes, after the main light switch is turned off, to ensure all the steam from a shower is vented out. If the noise is a buzzing, as opposed to the normal sound of a fan, it may be that the fan motor is stuck, failing, or has a foreign object in it, and it needs to be inspected by maintenance. This 8.6-inch black plastic box is hanging on a neighbor's shed, facing the finder's yard. What is this electronic device? This is a dog bark deterrent. These devices contain a microphone and an ultrasonic speaker. When the microphone detects a dog barking within its range, the device emits a high-frequency ultrasonic sound. This sound is inaudible or only slightly audible to humans, but is irritating to dogs. The intention is that the dog will associate its barking with the unpleasant sound and will learn to stop barking excessively. Its placement on the neighbor's shed, facing your yard, strongly suggests they have installed it in an attempt to quiet your dog. Included with kitchen items at a thrift store, this is a large, fancy spork, slightly longer than 12 inches. The finish doesn't feel like it's for food, and it looks like it could be for incense or candles, but its function is unclear. What is it? This is identified as part of the primordial brass serving set. This would be a large, stylized piece of serving flatware, likely made from cast brass or another decorative metal. A spork is a combination of a spoon and a fork. A large serving spork like this would be used for serving salads, pasta dishes, or other foods from a large communal bowl. The fancy and somewhat non-food safe finish might mean it's an older piece where the plating has worn, or it was intended more as a decorative art object serving piece than for everyday use. This sliding add-on is on a door handle in a hotel bathroom. What is its simple, practical purpose? If this add-on is made of a rubbery-like material, then its purpose is simply to keep the door handle from damaging the wall. This is a type of door stopper or bumper. When the door is opened, this rubber ring or sleeve around the handle will make contact with the wall first, instead of the hard metal of the handle itself. This prevents the handle from making a dent, a hole, or a scuff mark on the wall surface. It is a very common and inexpensive way to protect walls in high-traffic areas like hotel rooms. These are two black poles with clamps that connect to another pole, tightened with an Allen wrench. They are metal, 8 inches long, and are mirror images of each other. What are these support braces for? This is a safety recall fix for a Coleman recliner cot. It appears there was a safety issue with some of Coleman's reclining cots, where they could potentially collapse or fail. As a solution, Coleman issued a recall or a repair kit that included these two metal braces. These braces are designed to be clamped onto the frame of the cot to provide additional strength and support, preventing the failure and ensuring the cot is safe to use. It's a retrofit designed to correct a structural weakness in the original product. Someone was given this tiny ceramic cup with an inverted cone laid on top of it. The cone has an unglazed tip. What is this used for? This is a Japanese-style tea or coffee cup that comes with its own single-cup pour-over drip holder. The ceramic piece with the inverted cone is the dripper. You would place it on top of the matching cup, put a small paper or cloth filter inside it, add coffee grounds or tea leaves, and then slowly pour hot water over them. The brewed beverage drips through the unglazed tip directly into the cup below. It's a personal and elegant way to brew a single serving of pour-over coffee or tea. This wooden thing is about 2 feet long and has pegs of various sizes. What is this educational item? This is identified as one of those wooden Montessori toys for kids. Specifically, it's a peg matching and sorting toy. The main wooden block, would have a series of holes of varying diameters, and the child's task is to match each of the loose pegs to the correct hole that it fits into. This simple activity helps young children develop fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, and the ability to discriminate between different sizes and shapes. The Montessori educational philosophy emphasizes natural learning and self-directed activity with tactile materials like this. Clearing out a deceased husband's things, this heavy metal object with a micrometer-type thing attached was found. It's clearly for measuring something, but what is it called? This is a dial indicator calibration stand, or tester. A dial indicator is a precision measuring tool used in machine shops to measure small distances or variations. This stand is used to check the accuracy of the dial indicator itself. You would mount the dial indicator in the clamp on the left. You then use the precision micrometer barrel on the right to depress the dial indicator's plunger by a known precise amount, e.g., 1/1000th of an inch. You then check to see if the reading on the dial indicator matches the movement of the micrometer, thus verifying its accuracy. This sturdy but lightweight tool has a wooden handle with an offset, rigid metal shaft that rotates freely. What is this construction tool? This is a wire twisting tool, also known as a rebar tie wire twister. It is used in construction by ironworkers to quickly and efficiently tie reinforcing steel bars, rebar, together with wire before concrete is poured. The worker loops a piece of tie wire around the rebar, hooks both ends of the wire with the tool's hook, and then simply pulls back on the handle. The tool's internal mechanism causes the hook to spin rapidly, twisting the wire tightly and securing the rebar in place. The source is confident, stating, "I have put in a ton of rebar." Found while walking on the beach, this object is a bit soft, with a waxy feel, and is lighter than a rock. The finder wonders if it could be ambergris. A plastic tab is used for scale. What is it? While a romantic thought, this is not ambergris. That's a swimming earplug made of wax, or a similar pliable silicone putty. These types of earplugs are designed to be molded by the user to fit the unique shape of their ear canal, creating a watertight seal to prevent water from entering while swimming or showering. They are soft and have a waxy texture, and after being used and discarded, they can end up on the beach looking like a small, mysterious blob. This is a 10-centimeter fragment of a cast iron linear gauge found in a riverbed. What is this piece of a vintage measuring tool? This looks like an older version of a horizontal level, but one that uses mercury instead of the more common spirit bubble. It would be held at a slight angle so that the mercury, a heavy liquid metal, would reliably drain back to one side instead of forming bubbles or getting stuck. By observing the position of the mercury within a sealed glass tube inside the cast iron frame, a craftsman could determine if a surface was perfectly level or plumb. It is a more obscure and now obsolete type of leveling instrument. A little black leather bag was found in a bought car. What is this small storage accessory for? This small bag is meant to be hung from a clip that attaches to one of the car's air conditioning vents. These are small, convenient storage pouches for holding items like a phone, sunglasses, pens, or other small odds and ends that can clutter up a car's interior. The clip, which is missing here, would slide onto one of the louvers of the AC vent, and the bag would hang down from it, providing an easily accessible and out-of-the-way storage pocket. The commenter used to have one just like it. These black sheet metal half cones are mounted on bridge columns. What is their purpose? Have you been by at night? The commenter's guess is that these are uplights, a type of architectural light fixture. The half-cone shape acts as a shield or a shroud for a light bulb mounted inside. It would be aimed upwards, illuminating the underside and columns of the bridge at night. This is done for aesthetic reasons, to highlight the bridge's architecture and create a dramatic visual effect. The shield prevents the light from shining outwards and causing glare for drivers or pedestrians, focusing it entirely on the bridge structure itself. Lying around a barn, this tool has a wooden handle and a forged metal blade. What is this specialized woodworking tool? This looks like a one-handed barrel shave, or a cooper's shave. It's a type of draw knife or spoke shave specifically used by coopers the craftsmen who make barrels. The tool has a sharp blade that is used for shaping the staves, the individual wooden planks that make up a barrel. It would be used to create the precise curves and bevels on the edges of the staves to ensure they fit together perfectly and form a watertight container. The single handle, as opposed to the two handles on a standard draw knife, might be for specific detail work or shaping tasks in the barrel making process. A hotel housekeeper found this small plastic and metal object, about 1.5 inches long, left behind in a room. The metal part is not a battery. What is this beauty tool? This is a magnet tool used as part of an acrylic nail set, specifically for creating cat eye nail polish effects. Cat eye nail polish contains tiny magnetic particles. After the polish is applied to the nail, but while it is still wet, the user holds a strong magnet, like this one, close to the nail. The magnet pulls the metallic particles into a specific line or pattern, creating a shimmery, shifting design that resembles a cat's eye. This tool is the magnet used to create that effect. Two 2-inch metal objects were found with a 1980s Riccar sewing machine. The corkscrew object feels like a tool. The manual doesn't mention them. What are they? The first object, with the spiral or corkscrew shape, looks like a rolled hem presser foot. This is a specialized presser foot for a sewing machine. It has a uniquely shaped guide on the front that automatically folds the raw edge of a piece of light to medium weight fabric over twice as you sew, creating a very neat, narrow, and professional looking rolled hem. It is especially useful for finishing the edges of scarves, napkins, or ruffles. The other, unidentified object might be another specialized presser foot or a different accessory. Seen in the weightlifting room at a YMCA, this is a metal pole, sharp stand, with multicolored spinning plastic markers. The finder has never seen anyone use it. What is this piece of athletic testing equipment? This is a device used to measure an athlete's vertical jump height, often called a vertec or a vertical jump tester. To use it, the athlete first stands and reaches up to push aside as many of the colored plastic veins as they can, which sets their standing reach height. Then, they perform a standing vertical jump and attempt to swat the highest possible vein with their fingertips. By counting the number of veins they moved during the jump, you can precisely measure their vertical leap. It's a standard piece of equipment for athletic performance testing, especially in sports like basketball, volleyball, and football. This white, mounted, fixed object is on an office desk. There is another one on the opposite side. It's 6 inches long by 4 inches wide. What are these fixtures for? These are used for attaching desk baffleboard partitions, or more recently, COVID-era acrylic partitions. In open-plan offices, low partitions or privacy screens are often attached to the edges of desks to provide some visual and acoustic separation between workspaces. These mounted fixtures are the brackets or supports that hold these partitions in place. The partition panel would slide into a slot or be clamped by these brackets, securing it to the desk. A wife found this small brass tube at a flea market in British Columbia. It is fairly heavy for its size. What is its purpose? This is identified as a cigarette tube, but more accurately, it's likely a cigarette holder or an extinguisher case. As a holder, a cigarette would be inserted into one end, and the user would smoke through the brass tube, which would cool the smoke slightly and keep their fingers from smelling of tobacco. As an extinguisher or snuffer case, it would be a small, airtight tube. A lit cigarette could be placed inside and the lid closed, which would quickly extinguish the cigarette by starving it of oxygen, allowing the user to save the rest for later. Found in a yard sale lot of random items, these are made of semi-thick plastic with a rubber handle. The finder wonders if they are drumsticks, but they feel too delicate and the tip is different. What are they? These look like pool cues, but specifically for a children's or toy pool table. A toy pool table set would come with these smaller, lighter, and more durable plastic cues instead of the full-sized, heavier wooden cues used for professional billiards. The rubber handle would provide a good grip for a child, and the tip, while different from a standard leather cue tip, would be designed to work with the smaller, lighter plastic balls that come with a toy set. Found in a new rental place, this is a battery-powered thingy. Image search and Googling serial numbers doesn't help. It's like a garage remote, but has no button and no NFC coil. What is it? This is likely an active RFID, radio frequency identification tag. Unlike passive RFID tags that are powered by the reader, active tags have their own internal battery source. This allows them to transmit their signal over a much greater distance. These tags are used in a variety of systems for asset tracking, automated vehicle identification, like for opening a gate to a secure parking area or for tolling, personnel location within a large facility, or for inventory management. The device constantly broadcasts its unique ID, which is picked up by a reader when it comes into range. These rusted cast iron parts were found in the foothills of California. One looks like a cover of some kind and is about 6 inches across. The other two are harder to identify, but one has nails, rivets in it. What are they from? The round piece on the left looks like a lid cover from a wood cook stove. Old cast iron cook stoves had several round openings on the stovetop that were covered by these removable lids, allowing access to the firebox or for placing a pot directly over the heat. The piece on the right looks like the ornate top of a leg from an antique wood stove. Cast iron stoves from the 19th and early 20th centuries often featured very decorative cabriole-style legs, and this is the top part where the leg would have been bolted to the stove body. These are fragments from a vintage stove. This black plastic clip was found on the floor of a 2022 Jeep Gladiator after some work was done. It's about 4 inches long. A part number is molded into it, but doesn't come up in Mopar part searches. One of its 2 attachment clips is broken off. What is it? This is a brake line separator or clip. On a vehicle, several hard metal brake lines often run parallel to each other along the frame or chassis. To prevent these lines from rattling against each other or the frame, and to keep them organized, plastic clips like this one are used to hold them securely in place and maintain a proper separation between them. It's possible it was dislodged or broken by a mechanic while working on the wiring harness under the passenger seat, a common area for various lines and harnesses to be routed. This rusty metal object was found on the side of the road in the Swiss Alps near the Italian border. The finder wonders if it was involved in horse reins or tubing. What is this piece of military history? This is a link from a machine gun ammunition belt. A belt-fed machine gun uses a belt made of fabric, or, more commonly in modern designs, interlocking metal links to feed cartridges into the weapon. As the gun fires, each cartridge is stripped from its link, and the empty link is then ejected from the side of the gun. The Swiss Alps were heavily fortified and saw combat during World War I, the White War between Italy and Austria-Hungary. This is a very common piece of military archaeology to find in that region, a remnant of the intense fighting that took place there. This large arch-like structure is built at the entrance to a strip mall. It doesn't seem to have any scanners on it. The strip mall contains a thrift store and a post office. What is its purpose? Other than any potential signage on the other side, the primary purpose of this arch is to act as a height restriction barrier. It is designed to prevent large trucks, RVs, and other tall vehicles from entering the main parking area of the strip mall. This might be because the parking lot is not designed to accommodate the weight or turning radius of large vehicles, or there might be low overhangs, drive-throughs, or parking garage entrances further in that a tall vehicle could strike and damage. It effectively limits access to standard-sized passenger cars and vans. These are white square tube devices, open on one end at least, and cabled together, on the roof of a parking garage stairwell in Minneapolis, MN. They were seen from the 14th floor of an adjacent building. What are they? These are standoffs used to support cables on a flat roof. On large commercial roofs, it is often necessary to run electrical conduits, grounding cables, or other wiring across the roof surface. These standoffs, often made of durable, UV-resistant plastic or composite material, are used to elevate the cables or conduits a few inches off the roof surface. This keeps the cables out of any standing rainwater or puddles, protects the roof membrane from being damaged by the cables, and allows for proper drainage on the roof. Seen in a local public library, This is a plastic wall-mounted device with the word nosy on it. It looks very advanced, and the finder imagines it's some type of air purifier. What is it? These are sensors for commercial buildings designed to help improve building efficiency. According to the Nosy company's website, these devices are part of a system that provides continuously updated baseline data for a building. They likely contain a suite of sensors to monitor environmental factors such as temperature, humidity, CO2 levels, light levels, and occupancy. This data allows building managers to optimize energy costs by adjusting HVAC and lighting systems, improve indoor air quality, and streamline maintenance and servicing by identifying issues proactively. They are a tool for smart building management. This is a small white silicone lid or cover type thing. The photo shows the front, side, and inside view. What is this small protective cap for? This definitely looks like the small silicone cover that comes with many disposable vapes, or the pods for some vape systems. These small, flexible caps are placed over the mouthpiece of the vape during packaging and shipping. Their purpose is to keep the mouthpiece clean and hygienic, and to prevent any dust or debris from getting into the device before it is purchased and used by the consumer. It is meant to be removed and discarded before using the vape. This is a green leather snap case from the brand Orvis. It's approximately 6'2" 2 inches, lightweight, and has a soft fabric on the inside. Orvis customer service didn't know what it was. The finder wonders if it's a sunglasses case. Is this correct? The finder's guess is almost certainly correct. This is a sunglasses case. Orvis is a well-known American brand specializing in fly fishing, hunting, and sporting goods, including high-quality apparel and accessories. A leather case of these dimensions, with a soft protective lining, is perfectly suited for storing and protecting a pair of sunglasses, especially the polarized ones that are essential for fishing. It's surprising that customer service didn't recognize it, but it may be an older, discontinued model or part of a promotional gift set. A neighbor put these periscope-looking things in their yard a few months ago. There's a bunch of them in the front and back. The finder was thinking they're for aeration or drainage. What are they? These periscope-looking things could be frog houses. A frog house or toad abode is a small sheltered structure placed in a garden to provide a cool, damp, and safe hiding place for frogs and toads. These amphibians are beneficial for gardens as they eat slugs, insects, and other pests. These houses often have a simple, overturned pot design or a more decorative periscope-like shape that provides a protected entryway into an underground chamber. Encouraging frogs and toads to take up residence is a popular form of natural pest control for gardeners. This black panel is on the back of a Chevy 3500 Road Trek 210, a type of camper van. What is this exterior electronic component? This black panel is a TV antenna aerial. RVs and camper vans like the Road Trek are often equipped with an over-the-air television antenna to receive local broadcast TV channels when camping in areas without cable or satellite service. Modern RV TV antennas are often designed to be omnidirectional, receiving signals from all directions without needing to be aimed, and are housed in a low-profile aerodynamic plastic casing like this one to minimize wind resistance while driving. This is a long, draping, gauzy piece of clothing measuring 140 inches. It's not uniformly shaped and has several fasteners. What is this specific type of garment? This is a pre-pleated sari. A traditional sari is a very long, unstitched piece of fabric that is artfully draped and pleated by the wearer. A pre-pleated or pre-stitched sari is a modern, more convenient version. It has the intricate pleats at the waist already sewn into place, and often includes fasteners like hooks or a drawstring, turning it into a garment that is much easier and faster to put on, resembling a wraparound skirt. It provides the elegant look of a traditionally draped sari without requiring the skill and time to create the pleats manually. Found on the beach on the Curonian Spit in Lithuania, close to the Russian border, this is a glass flask containing a fine, dirty, white powder. The lid looks medical or scientific. The finders did not dare to open it, fearing it might be poisonous. What might it contain? This is a bottle of powdered medication. It's impossible to say exactly what it is, but many medications, particularly intravenous antibiotics, are supplied in this form, as a sterile powder in a sealed glass vial. To administer the medication, a healthcare professional would reconstitute the powder by injecting a sterile liquid, like sterile water or saline, into the vial with a syringe and needle, dissolving the powder into a solution that can then be injected or infused. Finding one on a beach suggests it was medical waste that was improperly disposed of at sea. Found on the road a couple of months ago, this has Alpha and Omega with dimensions and seemingly resolution written on it. A picture is visible when held up to light, but it's hard to discern what it shows. What is this artifact of a bygone era? This is another artifact from the days bygone, a slide. A 35mm photographic slide is a small, transparent photograph mounted in a cardboard or plastic frame that is designed to be viewed with a slide projector or a slide viewer. The writing on it is likely information about the image it contains, written by the photographer. The commenter deciphers that it is probably a photo of a picture painted in the year 2000 by an artist named Margie something. It's a single frame from what was once a very common way of sharing and viewing photographs. What is this type of stand-up personal watercraft? It's made of hard, hollow plastic with two fins on the bottom. It's propelled by shifting your weight side to side to raise and lower the fins in the water. It seems intended for older children. Laughably, that is called a WG WAG. The inventors must not know about Urban Dictionary. A WG WAG is a human-powered watercraft that uses a unique propulsion system. The rider stands on the platform and shifts their weight from side to side. This motion is translated into an up and down flapping of the two flexible fins underneath the craft, which propels it through the water, similar to how a fish's tail works. It's a fun and athletic way to move on the water. The unfortunate name is an acronym, but its slang meaning is quite different. This came supposedly through a baby registry, though it's not on the list. It's a washcloth-like muslin cloth with a wooden dowel, 5 wooden rings, and a little bow. The rings and bow's purpose are unclear. What is this set? After some searching, the finder located the link for this set. It is a baby gift, set consisting of a burp cloth, the soft muslin cloth, a wooden rattle, the wooden dowel with rings, which would make a gentle clacking sound, and a teething ring. The bow is likely just a decorative element for the gift set. It's a common type of curated gift set for a newborn, featuring simple, natural materials that are safe and stimulating for a baby. Heavy metal objects were found in the sea near the shore, in Kuroshio, Japan. They seem to be in a similar state of rustiness. What are these automotive parts? This looks like a lower control arm from a vehicle's suspension, along with its matching bushing or a bushing for the subframe where it attaches. A control arm is a hinged suspension link between the chassis and the suspension upright or hub that carries the wheel. They are critical for allowing the wheels to move up and down while maintaining proper alignment. These are substantial components made of cast iron or stamped steel. Finding them in the sea suggests they are from a car that was wrecked and ended up in the water, or were simply discarded as junk. Found in a charity shop in Wimbledon, this is about 1 meter tall and consists of 3 wooden sticks of the Schlesinger brand, joined to a metallic base with a spring. It was found alongside a golf set, but may not be related. What is it? These are cricket stumps. Specifically, they are a set of spring-loaded stumps designed for practice, particularly in cricket nets. In a game of cricket, the 3 vertical stumps and 2 horizontal bails on top form the wicket, which the bowler tries to hit. For practice, a set like this, mounted on a heavy metal base, can be used on any surface without needing to hammer individual stumps into the ground. The spring-loaded mechanism allows the stumps to be knocked over when hit, but then return to their upright position, saving time and effort. Schlesinger is a famous brand of cricket equipment. Mounted on a newish Ford Expedition in Florida, forward of the driver's side view mirror, this looks adjustable, but not like a snorkel, a light, or a secondary mirror. A car guy has never seen anything like it. What is it? The commenter's final thought is the right one. This is a modern, remote-controlled searchlight or spotlight similar to the Unity brand spotlights commonly seen on police vehicles, but a more modern, compact LED version. The housing can be aimed remotely from inside the vehicle using a small joystick or controller, allowing the driver to illuminate addresses, signs, or areas off the side of the road without leaving the car. They are used by law enforcement, utility companies, and security patrols, but are also available for civilian vehicles. This van in Kanagawa, Japan, has a metal roof mount with a long vertical piece with a black cap on top. There is also a white antenna on the other side of the roof. What is this setup? This is a mobile mapping or surveying system. The device on the vertical piece is a 360-degree camera, likely one from a company like Ladybug or Ricoh, which captures a full panoramic image of the vehicle's surroundings. The white antenna on the other side is for a high-accuracy GPS and/or satellite communications. This combination of a 360-degree camera and precise GPS is used to create street-level imagery for services like Google Street View or for professional surveying, asset management, and road infrastructure mapping. Found while cleaning at a job, this metal object is the size of a coin. It has two small holes, one on top, one on bottom, so a string or pin can go through it. The image is the same on both sides. What is it? With the holes on the top and bottom, this seems like the spinning bauble from a keychain. Many keychains have a central decorative element that is designed to spin freely. This is achieved by having a pin or a rivet that passes through the holes at the top and bottom of the bauble, allowing it to rotate within a frame. The image being the same on both sides is also consistent with this, as it would be visible from either side as it spins. It's the centerpiece of a keychain that has broken apart. This metal object was pulled out of a tub drain, which would explain why the shower was backing up. It folds at the bottom and looks like there is a joint at the top. It's maybe 6 to 7 inches long. It's definitely not from the current residence. What is it? This is the bathtub drain linkage assembly with a plug, guide, and rocker arm. It is the internal mechanism for a pop-up drain stopper, the kind that is operated by a lever on the overflow plate. This linkage connects the lever to the drain stopper at the bottom of the tub. When you move the lever, this rocker arm and linkage assembly moves up or down, pushing the stopper open or pulling it closed. It's a very common piece of plumbing that can become disconnected or broken inside the drain pipe, causing blockages. Nails with pieces of copper-like wire attached to them were pulled out of pallet wood. The wire seems to be soldered to the nails. What is this? This is from a nail gun that uses wire-collated nails. For pneumatic nail guns, the nails need to be held together in a strip or a coil to be fed into the gun. One common method of collation is to weld the nails together in a coil using two thin pieces of wire. When the nail gun fires, it drives a single nail into the wood, and the small pieces of the collation wire that were attached to that nail either break off upon impact or are driven into the wood along with the nail. This is the remnant of that collation system. Multiple yellow boxes on tripods are set up along a train line outside of Stuttgart, Germany. They are hooked to each other with orange cables and are placed about every 100 meters. What are they? This is an automatic track warning system, ATWS, or Rottenwarnanlage in German. It is a portable safety system used to protect rail workers who are performing maintenance on active railway lines. Sensors are placed up the track to detect approaching trains. When a train is detected, the system sends a signal through the orange cables to these yellow boxes, which are horn and light units. These units then emit a super loud alarm and flashing lights, warning the workers to clear the tracks immediately. You will likely hear it day and night if you are nearby. These wire clips with red plastic ends were found while remodeling a house from the 1940s. They are about 3 inches long and were found in the walls of a rural ranch house. What are they? These are clips for a set of electric hot rollers. Hot rollers were a very popular hairstyling appliance from the mid-20th century onwards. The set would consist of multiple rollers that were heated up on a base unit. The user would then roll sections of their hair around the hot rollers and secure them in place with these wire clips. The heat from the roller would set a curl in the hair. These clips, with their distinctive plastic ends for safe handling, were an essential part of every set. This tall and narrow wooden stand of some kind appears to be antique. The finder bid on it for $2 because they liked the wood grain. Is it a candle holder? Where would it go in the home? Yes, it is a candle holder, specifically a floor-standing one. These tall stands are designed to hold a pillar candle or a taper candle at an elevated height. They can be used to provide ambient lighting in a corner of a room next to a fireplace or in an entryway. The commenter humorously adds, "Where would it go in the home? Wherever the hell you want. It's your candle stand. Don't let anyone tell you where you can and can't put your candle stand." It's a classic decorative accent piece. Found at a thrift store, this is a wooden shelf type thing. It has a space in the back to be hung up and a smaller shelf that is not connected to the very bottom. What is its purpose? This is a vintage kerosene oil lamp holder and reflector shelf. It is missing the lamp that sits in the middle. These were common wall-mounted fixtures in the era before electric lighting. A kerosene lamp would be placed on the small shelf. The larger wooden back part, often with a mirrored or polished metal reflector, which is also missing here, would protect the wall from the heat and soot of the lamp, and, more importantly, it would reflect the light from the lamp's flame back into the room, amplifying its illumination. Found in the kitchen pantry, this is an odd-looking, clear, lightweight object with rolling bristles. What is it? This is maybe one of those crumb sweepers, also known as a table crumber. It's a small, handheld device used for cleaning up crumbs from a tablecloth or a table surface between courses or after a meal. The device is rolled across the table. The rolling bristles inside rotate and sweep the crumbs up into a small internal compartment. It's a handy little gadget for keeping the dining table tidy without having to bring out a full dustpan or a vacuum. This box, which appears to be antique, is about 16 inches long and 8 inches wide. The top flips open, there's no back wall, and it's sloped, higher in the back than the front. A roommate left it behind. What was it used for? The commenter bought one for their dad back in the day. It's for charging all your gadgets. This is an early version of a gadget charging station or valet. The top part is where you would place your devices, like phones, MP3 players, etc., to charge. The open back and the space underneath the shelf are for hiding a power strip and all the messy charging cables and power adapters, keeping the desktop or nightstand looking neat and organized. It's a simple but effective cable management solution. Seen being transported on a flatbed truck on I-70, this is a skid-mounted unit about 9 feet tall. It has 5 cylindrical stainless steel vessels in a row with valves and a piping header, as well as a hopper on the front. It was initially thought to be some sort of distillation or filtration skid. What is it? This complex skid is a J.D. Skiles pit stop sprayer trailer. This is a highly specialized piece of agricultural equipment designed to make the process of filling large self-propelled crop sprayers much faster and more efficient. The cylindrical vessels are tanks for holding different chemicals, herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers, and the hopper is for mixing dry chemicals into a slurry. The entire unit is a mobile chemical mixing and loading station. A farmer can tow this trailer to the field, allowing them to quickly reload their sprayer on site, minimizing downtime and maximizing the acreage they can cover in a day. This round metallic thing just landed in a pasture and it had a parachute. The parachute detached in the neighbor's yard. The finder wonders if it's storm tracking or weather related. What is it? This looks a lot like an RCS calibration sphere. RCS stands for radar cross-section. These perfectly spherical metallic objects have a very predictable and uniform radar signature from any angle. They are used to calibrate radar systems. They can be dropped from an aircraft, suspended from a balloon, or mounted on a pylon to provide a known reference target. A radar operator can then aim their system at the sphere and adjust their equipment until the signal they see matches the known radar cross-section of the sphere. The parachute would be for a controlled descent after being dropped from an aircraft. A piece of metal from the driveway. The finder has found around 12 of them over the last 7 years. What are they from? That is a bracket or hanger for an old gutter helmet type of leaf guard or topper. The clip part would attach to the gutter's top lip. The leaf guard panel would then be slid under the first row of shingles on the roof, and its rounded front edge would be clipped into the rounded part of this bracket. The commenter notes this was a terrible design that didn't last long in the industry. The fact that the finder keeps finding them suggests the leaf guard system on their own house is failing and the brackets are falling off one by one. This reflective plate with moving weights on the back was part of an electronics workshop collection with other laser components. It has two arc-shaped weights that move along rings. The finder thinks it's meant to stabilize while rotating. What is it? That looks like a rotating optical encoder disc, which is part of a position or speed sensing system. The reflective plate, often with very fine, precise lines etched on it, is read by an optical sensor as it spins. This allows a system to track the precise angle, position, or speed of a rotating shaft with incredible accuracy. The two Z-shaped pieces on the back are indeed balancing weights. They are carefully positioned to ensure the disc is perfectly balanced so it can rotate at high speed smoothly and without any wobble or vibration. These are used in printers, robotics, and other precision electronic systems. This ring of light is in a fitting room mirror at a random shop. The finder has never seen it before and can't imagine its purpose, leading to a bit of paranoia. What is this feature? This ring of light is simply integrated lighting for the fitting room mirror. The border of the mirror should light up when the power is turned on, often via a touch-sensitive power button on the mirror's surface. When the button is blue, the light is on. When red, it's off. This type of lighting is designed to provide bright, even, and often flattering illumination from the front, which helps people to see how clothes look and fit more clearly than with standard overhead lighting. It's a common feature in modern retail stores, designed to enhance the customer experience. The finder keeps pulling these red, stringy, spiky things out of their mattress, and they keep scratching them. At 3 a.m., they are tired and freaking out, wondering if they are wires or centipede legs. What are they? The commenter reassures the finder, not centipede legs. This looks like wicker. It seems to be some kind of plant matter. So, the new mystery is what it's doing in a mattress. The most likely, if unpleasant answer, is that a rodent, like a mouse or a rat, is bringing it in for a nest. Rodents will often chew up materials from around the house, such as the wicker from a basket, and carry it into a secluded, warm place, like the inside of a mattress or box spring, to build a nest. It is a sign of a pest problem. This heavy wooden device was found in a house in rural Spain. Levers on top raise and lower heavy wooden calendars onto a flat surface with a drainage hole. There are wooden discs and black metal rings. Pegs seem to lock the levers down. It's about 3 feet tall. What is it? The commenter recognizes the tins as cheese tins, meaning this is a press for getting the whey out of cheese. This is a cheese press. After milk curds have been formed and placed into a mold, the cheese tins, they must be pressed to expel the remaining whey, the liquid part of the milk, and to consolidate the curds into a solid wheel of cheese. This large wooden lever-operated press would be used for that purpose. The wooden discs would press down on the cheese in the molds, and the heavy calendars, weights, and locking pegs would apply sustained pressure. The hole at the end is for the whey to drain away. Seen in a kitchen at a friend's house, this is located in the gap between a corner cabinet and the wall. What is this specific colored material? This is identified as a specific color variant of carpet padding or underlayment. When carpet is installed, a layer of padding is first put down over the subfloor to provide cushioning, insulation, and to prolong the life of the carpet. This padding comes in various types and colors. This is likely a scrap piece that was left over after carpet was installed in an adjacent room. It was then possibly used by the cabinet installers as a shim or a filler to close the small, irregular gap between the last kitchen cabinet and the wall, a common practice in construction. This small metal tool with a hard rubber grip was found in a box of miscellaneous junk. It has a curved flat end and a 2-fork end, and the forks are sharp. What is this for? This is a seafood pick, an essential utensil for eating crab or lobster, After a crab or lobster has been cooked and the main shell has been cracked, a lot of the delicious meat remains in the small legs and crevices of the body. This long, thin tool, with its forked or spooned ends, is used to pick and scrape this meat out of all those hard-to-reach places. It is a fundamental part of any seafood utensil set. This long pole with a corkscrew-type end was seen in a museum in Montenegro with some very old guns. The finder assumes it's an old weapon, like a nasty spear, but isn't sure of its practicality. What is it? This is not a weapon, but a tool for cleaning a cannon. It is a worm, also known as a wad hook. After a muzzle-loading cannon was fired, remnants of the powder bag or wadding could be left smoldering in the barrel, which was extremely dangerous. This long pole with a corkscrew-like end was shoved down the barrel to pull out any of this leftover burning material before the next powder charge was loaded. It was a critical safety and maintenance tool for any artillery crew. 1077. Modified sarong. Found on a thrift store scarf rack, this is a green, lightweight fabric about 3 by 5 feet with a large, serged oval cutout in the middle. What is it? The commenter is pretty sure that this is a sarong that has been modified. They have the exact same one, same color and all, but without the hole. A sarong is a large length of fabric that is wrapped around the body and worn as a skirt or a dress, especially in Southeast Asia and many tropical islands. It's likely that a previous owner of this sarong cut the oval hole in the middle to turn it into a poncho-style beach cover-up. You would put your head through the hole, and the fabric would drape over your shoulders. This telescoping plastic item has a rubber insert that reads China. It's very light, about 2 inches long when expanded, and is attached to a keyring. What is it? The commenter's company handed these out during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a multifunction no-touch tool. It has an extendable stylus with a rubber tip for use on public touch screens, like at an ATM or a checkout terminal, to avoid touching them with your finger. It also has a hook or a notch that can be used to open liver-style doorknobs without touching them directly with your hand. As the commenter notes, neither part works particularly well, but they were a popular promotional item during that time. This spring-loaded tool with a wood handle has a nozzle that unscrews. It was found with a grandfather's old stuff. Is it a tiny gun or a center punch? It is a tiny gun, not a center punch. It's a Kanonchen-Toter, which is German for rabbit killer. This is a spring-loaded captive bolt device, specifically used for the humane dispatch or stunning of small animals, particularly rabbits, in the context of farming or for butchering. When pressed against the animal's head and triggered, a spring-loaded bolt shoots forward a short distance, delivering a concussive blow. It's a specific and somewhat grim tool used in agriculture. This 3-inch long squared aluminum cylinder with a hard plastic tip was found magnetically stuck to the inside of a car's roof rails after the car was held overnight at a caliber collision. Is it a tracker? It looks like a dent removal tool. Specifically, it could be a knockdown tool used in paintless dent repair, PDR. PDR technicians use a variety of tools to massage and push out dents from behind a panel. A knockdown tool, often with a hard plastic or nylon tip, is used from the outside to gently tap down any high spots that may have been created while pushing out the dent. A PDR technician working at the collision shop likely left their magnetic-based tool stuck to the roof rail by accident. This white disc, with no obvious distinguishing marks, is about 2 inches across and is in a hallway, but outside an apartment. A wire feeds along the baseboard and up into a panel. The unit was fitted this morning, and an open-reach van, a UK telecom company, was present. What is it? The commenter makes the direct correlation. This is a decorative cover used to hide the hole where an open-reach technician drilled through the exterior wall to install a new fiber optic internet service. After running the fiber cable from the outside into the building, technicians will often use these simple plastic discs or covers on the inside wall to provide a neat and finished look over the hole they've made, concealing any rough edges in the drywall or plaster. It is a common piece of hardware used in telecommunications installations. This small plastic thing was part of a gift set with other stationary items. The hinges can be put down, and a thing on the left is retractable. A battery is shown for size comparison. What is it? This is part of a portable, foldable laptop stand. These stands are designed to elevate a laptop screen to a more ergonomic height, and often to improve airflow for cooling. They usually consist of several hinged and adjustable plastic or metal pieces that fold down into a very compact size for travel. This is likely one of the support legs or a component of the main platform. The retractable part and hinges are all features that would allow it to adjust to different angles or laptop sizes and then collapse for portability. The link shows a similar one. This key was received with a set of house keys. It's flat with 2 prongs and no notable markings. It's about 1 inch long. What does it open? This looks like a key for an industrial or commercial toilet paper or paper towel dispenser. The dispensers found in public restrooms, offices, and restaurants are often locked to prevent theft of the paper rolls and to control access for janitorial staff. They don't use a traditional pin tumbler lock, but rather a simple, standardized lock that can be opened with a specific key like this one with 2 prongs. The previous owner of the house may have worked as a custodian or in property management and had the key on their main key ring. A needle minder was bought on Etsy for cross-stitching, and the seller included these 2 pins as a gift. The buyer doesn't know what they are for. They are pins with decorative things on top. What is their purpose? The commenter thinks these are just decorative pins. In the world of cross-stitching and embroidery, many stitchers like to use decorative accessories. These pins, often with pretty beaded or enameled tops, can be used to hold a small piece of fabric out of the way while stitching, to mark a specific spot on a pattern or fabric, or simply to be stuck into a pin cushion as a decorative and fun part of their sewing kit. They are a common, small, handmade gift item on Etsy. What was the weirdest object for you? Let me know in the comments and share this to test your friends. If you love uncovering these mysteries, hit like and subscribe. Your support helps us find more curious explorers like you. Stay curious.